I actually like my pictorials. Alright, I think we are live here in 2 seconds on YouTube because I decided to start it for my ramblings. So when TPAW comes back, we're already there. Is it doing... Are you hiccuping, computer? Aw, don't do that. Come on. I had you. You're doing it. Let's try again. Let's see if we'll respond this time. Oh, it's still thinking. Okay. No. Aw. It's thinking. Give it a minute. That's annoying. Does it show it? Yes, it shows that it's plugged in, so we're good there. It's just having a... Hang on, I gotta think about it. Okay. That seems like a hiccup. But that's alright. Thus is the computer. And hi everybody joining the live. How are y'all doing tonight on TikTok? Hope y'all are having a good night. By the way, anybody who doesn't know, tomorrow's my birthday, so happy early birthday to me, and anybody else who has a birthday on the 12th of January. Just having your birthday at the beginning of the year is fun. At least I think it's fun. I find it quite enjoyable, the whole birthday thing. Even though, as far as I'm concerned, because I was a C-section baby, like my two kids, I consider it a hatch day because I wasn't really born. I was cracked out of the egg I was in. From my point of view, I already started everything. Wahahaha. So now all you gotta do is give the little furs their water. I just been talking to them about how tomorrow's my birthday, and thanks for joining the live on TikTok, and we'll go from there. I also told some people before I hit the live on the YouTube for Optifine or OBS that we will be discussing the 3 episodes of Echo. We saw the whole season of Ahsoka, and I can't really talk about more than up to episode 3 because I really haven't gotten into. I've gotten partway into episode 4 of Percy Jackson, so
yeah.
So go on YouTube and share the live because I started it right before you came in the room.
So I'll say
me a hiccup and said,
"Hey." Says Crazy Peas. After that prologue, I'm TPAW.
Karnage.
And we've been carrying on from here. I just always have to do some sort of intro.
No, you're good. I just figured I'd talk to him, and so that way we didn't miss anything. Because I was talking about how with Echo, this part of the story origin and whatnot is the mythos. Like I was saying, like I was discussing with you, how it's kind of like the Adam and Eve mythos, made from Earth, and where their descendants, and how the Native American mythos that they show on Echo is kind of the same thing.
Yep.
So.
Essentially it, yeah.
Which is where I find
live.
the house. Did it show 44? I mean, it gave me a hiccup. So.
Depends on what you put as the live. Did you click the episode title itself when you went live?
Yeah, the one that you were saying.
Okay. Let's see here. It's very crazy.
For those on TikTok, this is just us trying to get the...
Yep, pop goes crazy right there.
Alright. Share it to X. And then we're good. At least on the YouTube end. I forgot to share the TikTok live. So
yep.
It is what it is, you know. Just talking about how the only issue or hindrance I have with my current situation is the whole not being able to see my kids as much as I want.
Yeah.
Or at all.
Yeah, I know
but
that
I've
would
also
be...
come to the realization that when they're old enough, they'll find me.
Yeah.
When they hit 18, they want to come yell at me or do whatever, they will.
Yep. I'm sharing it to threads too.
No, you're good, homie. I don't mind. I'm just having fun watching you do it.
No, I didn't say cut.
You might have to get the link again. Yeah, you're gonna have to get the link again. Nope, wrong one. There you go. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're doing that, so nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So as far as Echo goes, like, what do you think of that show?
So far, I like it.
Yeah. I like it.
I understand, the whole dynamic of it, and I like what you were talking about with me last night when we were watching episode 1, 2, and 3, about how when they're going into the past, showing her previous lives with the soul that's currently in the body that's the main character in the show.
Yeah.
Dave, you're gonna have to move, because I'm gonna put my foot down repeatedly and put it up. But how she's deaf, and the whole dynamic of how that works with her, and the very beginning when she's a child and then her mom dies.
Yeah, that double trauma though, like, after dealing with secondhand with the leg situation, with your sister or wife, and watching her deal with that, and then seeing a Marvel character deal with it slightly different way because she got glass through her fucking leg and then she had to have it amputated.
And got a robo leg.
And had a prosthetic leg added to it. It makes you appreciate what she had to go through even more, and what you have as well.
Yeah.
Like both. And just the double trauma of losing her mom and losing her leg, and then having to spend the rest of her life, adjusting to that and stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool. She gets to do some karate with a prosthetic leg and kick some ass. But at the same time, it's like the amount of hell and mental turmoil it took to get there. And
then she had to go through,
yeah, that's kind of insane. I like one thing, my favorite parts of the show is honestly the stuff that people are complaining about, which is,
what are they complaining about? You're more in that zone than I am.
They're complaining about the fact that that the show is quote unquote boring, and that it's another female heroine that's a Mary Sue, even though they're like, is nothing about her that says Mary Sue. I mean, she's not good at everything she does. She struggled a lot.
She's a complete fuck up.
And she put her family in danger.
She's a good fuck up by trying to save everybody, but by saving everybody, she accidentally put her family into the
just about every step of the first 3 episodes that we've seen so far is her believing that she's just as good as Kingpin at having an empire. Her,
seeing where he fucked up
being
one and
dopey
not
enough.
The complete asshole he is, yeah.
Him being dopey enough. Her being dopey enough that she's like, why not me? Why can't I do it? And then, like, everyone, of course, is undermining her because 1, she's a woman, 2, she's, not Kingpin, and 3, she's handicapped. And so they're all undermining her and thinking, oh, well, you're way over your head and stuff like that. So you've got those challenges already. And I like the fact that she's staying resilient despite everything.
Yeah.
Like, because the life she's living right now is similar to the life that you've led.
Yep.
Like, being undermined, having people tell you what you're going to be, having
or
people...
what I can't do,
people tell you what you can and can't do. Your leg giving out on you a couple times here and there. A bunch of other shit. Like, you guys have a similar pathway. And
I think that's why I like the show a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, then, like you're saying, like, everybody's like bitching. I'm like, why? It sounds like a great story. Because my brain goes, yeah, that's kind of my story, except for it's a chick.
Not to mention the fact that you talk about the Choctaw a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And that happens to be the tribe that's in her family.
Yeah.
Like, the part
Cherokee Choctaw, I swear, because we don't know which tribe we came from, and because it's always been said one or the other, my brain instantly goes to, oh no, we're both.
Yeah.
It's the we are Choctaws who bred with Cherokees because we got put into the Cherokee portion of Oklahoma that was supposed to be the Cherokees.
Yeah.
But back then, they actually didn't know what tribe, or which tribe was which tribe, because the Cherokee and Choctaw are the whitest tribe. They just intermingled and nobody knew because they had the lighter skin of the Native Americans.
Yeah, and I'm going to be writing a story that takes place again, because this time I'm actually going to really dive deeper into it. Before I kind of brushed it, I was like, this character has those family lineage, but we're not going to really delve deep into it. But we're going to acknowledge that it exists, but we're not going to, like, double touch it. Now I'm like, I'm going to be writing the Orion story and the Dreamwalker story. And I'm going to, like, be diving deeper into the tissue and finding out more about how that family is, how his family ties into Peter's more treacherous one with, like,
well, for me,
kingdoms
the
and
whole,
stuff.
like, spirit or Dreamwalker or Spirit Walker or whatever you want to call it, I always saw that as, oh, you mean the Native American, like, go on a spirit journey? And
right.
Like, whether you realize it or not, you see your ability and you can tap into other people's dreams to help them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what I'm always talking to you about I see the outcome, so I do the little push or poke or throw this stone over here in the lake. Let's see what happens. And then the outcome ends up being good.
Yeah.
That's where I see the whole, like, Dreamwalker, Spirit Walker sort
Yeah,
of
and
thing.
I can't wait to touch that story because, like, it's going to be very interesting. Plus, the show of Echo, like, just watching them go into the lore of the Native American tribe, no matter how accurate or inaccurate it is. Because that's the thing I was looking at as I was like,
how accurate it was.
accuracy,
yeah, you were
question mark?
discussing that last night when we went to go get sodas when we left on, I think it was the beginning of episode 3. I'm like, let's go get drinks real quick and then we'll watch the episode and decide from there.
Yeah, and I was wondering how accurate it was. It was a giant question mark for me because from my understanding and from talking to people that are from tribes, like their family is in the tribe and one of them actually went to college that was very Native American. From what I understand, the population was mostly Native American, just from different bloodlines or whatever. And from what I understand, the way that they exchange information is very different from how other people exchange it. It's more oral, spoken word. So if that person, like, if those people, like, die or something, then if it wasn't recorded on paper, it's lost.
And and that's where I laugh and go into the stuff that Mom had, all the different
mysteries,
history books of some of the background of a lot of the tribes in America. And I just laugh at it because it's like, that instantly takes me to, oh, so you're going to call all the stories mythos and fake. Oh, like you do with the Christian Bible or any what is now considered pagan religions. What I consider one part, because most pagan religions, I literally consider it a piece of the full puzzle of being a true Wiccan. Like, literally being able to talk to each god individually, but at the same time, you're talking to all of them all at once.
So if any of you in the crowd, any of the audience, happen to have any, either TikTok or YouTube, or any platform that this podcast ends up on. If you guys happen to have lineage that is like Native American or similar, or something of that nature, where like the history of the bloodline has always been spoken oral, my recommendation is change the narrative a bit. Have it to where it's written down so that somebody can discover it instead of like having somebody else write it for you.
My clarification is don't put it on paper. Because paper degrades and disappears.
Well, you could type it up.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. My thought process goes into like the old school, like the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Because when the Greeks went to Egypt and the Egyptians or the Romans went to Egypt and the Romans basically took over and had their run as the leaders of Egypt, they did the Rosetta Stone so everybody understood the language of what the hieroglyphs were.
Mm-hmm.
My thing on that is people who actually know like the old Native American languages or other what's considered dead languages, people actually know that language because they were raised in that or told how, this word used to be spelled this way or whatnot with a lot of deadly. We need more people to go out there and actually put that shit together.
And I'm sure
for me,
podcasts about it.
and I didn't go on to take, so I might. well, depending on when we end. But I forgot to go on to the Learn a Language app. That
the Duolingo?
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that
I've been getting on that, and I picked.
Crazy on.
I went through it, and I picked Arabic first, because if I learn the Arabic language, that'll get me further on with knowing of the...
Okay, so I'm going to download Duolingo and start playing with it, because now you're jumping
German,
into it.
And I'm like, ooh, German, and I try to pick more than one. It's like, no, one at a time.
Already tell me about Duolingo, and I'm like, my wife is ahead of the curve.
Well, because I asked Mom and Judy yesterday, it's like, okay, what's the app you'll have? Spell it out for me.
Yeah.
You know what, screw it, I'm going to get on and go.
Duolingo, the official teacher of all languages.
It's the cheaper version because it's free. That's free. I mean, you get ads, but I'm not paying a subscription fee. Kiss my ass, I'll deal with the stupid ads.
Yep.
Ads don't bug me. It's just like, okay, you're trying
Duolingo,
to get paid.
please sponsor us.
Oh, yes. If you sponsor me and give me, like, free freaking rain.
And you're like 8 languages because of it.
I'm already, like, more than 3/4 of the way through the second lesson. Some of the way that, I don't know if it's the robot or if it's an actual person and they put it on the app to say some languages. I'm like, you're saying this, but that doesn't match the letters for English on how to say that. Yeah. Okay, and I'm partially learning how to write it in Arabic because that's part of them showing you this word is written this way and all that stuff. So I'm diving into it. I have my hiccups. I'm having a few I fucked ups. Yeah. Actually, I did get on it today because I had a few F-ups today. But I mean, for me, it's like, ooh, I fucked up. Where did I fuck up? What was wrong? Yeah. Oh, it's my understanding because I'm bad at English with some of the stuff because it's like that's not proper English. What the hell is actually people saying?
Mirror, like I'm just gonna have to start swearing in another language other than Spanish. You know why?
Because knows it.
Yeah, because we were in the car and she just starts like unleashing a string of Spanish swear words, and Mirror goes language, and then I'm like, wait. How do you know it? How do you know if she's doing that? What if she's like saying purple spotted donuts? And then Amber goes, well, I definitely know it doesn't mean that. And then Amber just unleashes like what it actually means, and I'm like, well, now you gotta learn another language.
I mean, if I learn everything in Arabic, or I actually learn Arabic, that's why I wanted to test Duolingo, because I want to see.
Yeah.
Because if I can actually learn Arabic, like to write the language.
Yep.
Of course, that's where I think my downfall will come. Because that's where my downfall always comes with most languages that are like Arabic and most of the Asian languages and some of the European languages because they're not letters, they're symbols.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain goes, huh?
Huh. Alright.
So on some of them, it literally says it and I didn't, just by chance. Or because of the way my brain absorbs it because it's through sound. And because I'm interacting with it, my brain absorbs it better. That's why I hated Spanish, French, any language class in school because I'm not actually delving into it. It's literally just la 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 la. You said that perfect. Do you know what you said? I don't have a fucking clue, jackass.
If we end up having a bunch of people doing Duolingo and then like everybody just starts like getting proficient in like multiple languages, I can start having you guys help me translate the books.
Translate your books into Arabic would be fun. But for me, it's my first thought is Arabic. One of the things that goes back to one of the closest languages, because that's from the Middle East and Egypt and all these really the oldest civilizations that no longer exist. Or this is what we think it is because it's changed and evolved over the millennia.
Yeah, language always changes.
Yeah. So if I learn it and then I learn German. Because that's the second language I'm going to learn. And then, because Spanish has always given me trouble, I'm going to dive into that, have that son of a bitch done quicker and shit, because I can say the words. That's, like with Mom, because she was doing Duolingo, she's like, she said it, I'm like, and it says no, and I'm like, I got you. Like, bing, you said it right. Okay, you got to do it this way, Mom. You got to roll your tongue this way.
Yeah, change the way you're saying the word.
You got to pronunciate it more with your tongue or more with the back of your throat. And, you know, describing to her how I naturally just...
Yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett, one of my favorite YouTubers in the whole wide world, he actually will say somebody's name, especially if like you roll an R to say the name properly. He'll say their name exactly the way it's supposed to be said in the language.
Well, that's like charade. It's not charade. It's charade.
Oh, really?
Or yeah, because the E has a dash because it's supposed to be French, from Louisiana. So
Yeah.
it's charade.
Okay.
That twang's a little off, but I mean when she first
Saray,
said it,
not charade.
it's charade.
Saray.
Charade.
Okay.
Because the sure is right, but the re, the E is messed up. So it's, well, no, because everybody screws it up. She said this was when I first met her, and I literally said her name to her like 6 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, Teresa, she's not even listening to her own name. And then I kept driving.
Yeah.
And it was like literally, and it's like he's calling you by the name that you literally bitch. Nobody's calling you by. He's literally pronouncing it properly. She's like, wait, what? Yeah, motherfucker. If you tell me Sheree is the American name you use because that's how it's properly pronounced, because it's from Louisiana, which has a French twang to it.
Yeah.
Click. Now
Yeah.
what, motherfucker? That's like saying Arabic names.
Yeah.
What is your actual name in Arabic? Da 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 da. Okay. My brain just instantly processes the sounds, and I just say the sounds instantly. I don't even have to think about it.
Here's a fun game.
Well, do you have Google Translate? Because you can translate my name into Arabic. Yeah, you type in the name.
Yeah. Peter. In Arabic.
No. Type the sound thing. Turn it up.
Peter.
So it's about the
the
same.
same.
It's about the same. Let's go to Tim.
Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, but
T-Y-M.
no. Go back into it.
Okay.
Hit that one.
This?
Yep.
That one.
That's how you say my name in
That
Arabic.
one.
Oh.
Dang.
Let's do this.
Yeah, so go back and do Peter. And do the bottom one. A little sound bite.
Nafada.
Mashada.
Nafada.
Mashada. That is your name in Arabic.
Nafada.
Nafada.
Mashada.
So I'm essentially the planet on Star Wars.
There you go. But I mean, I do that. I'll go into like the Google, because I downloaded Google Translate for my phone. Every once in a while, I'll just go into it. What's Are those butt cheeks?
I feel like those are butt cheeks.
So do I. If they're not, tell us.
Great
Clip
big.
soap.
You like big butts and you cannot lie.
No, you're at the bottom. Nobody else said anything. It's just everybody joining.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I've been paying real close
Unless
attention.
she's like clapping. Those.
I don't know what those are. It's so tiny I can't see it.
But I might end up using Duolingo myself because Rain's girlfriend, she's partially Japanese. At least that's part of her lineage.
So
and
you learn Mandarin.
so she's learning a bit of Japanese right now.
Or, no, yeah, learn Japanese. But you have multiple Japanese to write down. It's Kiritana, Kina, and then there's another one I can't remember off the top of my head. But I
It's not
learned that
just
stuff
one.
from Mom.
There's not just one.
Not in writing.
I am so
Okay, think about it
confused.
like this. No, hold up, pause. Joe, Teresa's dad.
Uh-huh.
Me and him, when we were talking, going to the business and talking to him all the time,
Yeah.
he was saying that the Spanish everybody learns is for Spain.
That's
The
true.
Mexican Spanish is different. Plus, there's street Spanish,
That is
and
true.
then there's proper Mexican, like proper high-end, like
Yeah, like
royalty and sort of
sophisticated.
like
Sophisticated.
yeah, the rich asshole freaking way to say it. And
Yeah.
there are two different languages. That's like I'm always saying with American, it's we don't. It should be called American, not English, because it's not English.
Yeah.
Because the English shape differently than we do.
Makes sense.
It's for me. It just the way it dives into it. I'm like, let's go back to like one of the original languages, Arabic, and then I'll go into like the old. I can't remember, like Latin. Will be my next one, or I'll do
Latin would
or
be
I'll do
fun.
German, and then I'll do Latin.
Then
That
I
way-
wouldn't have to use Google Translate for half of the epical lyrics.
You literally pull me in
Right
here,
along
you're like,
Latin.
listen to this. Tell me exactly what it says. And then I'm like, na 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 na.
No, they
It's
appreciate.
like, that does not work in American. No, it does not. You sound like you're talking out of your asshole.
Yeah, because it's Latin.
The certain sayings I've
The original
learned
language.
also, like in Spanish and in other languages, when you translate them into English or American, they don't mean the same thing if they're not in the original language because of the way it's meant and talked about and said
Yeah.
in the original language. The way it comes across is funny or haha I poked you without actually being a mean asshole about it.
Yeah.
But if you say it in American, the fuck you just said? It's so confusing. That's why I want with the Duolingo, because if I can like dive into it
Yeah.
the way I want to, I mean it'll be awesome and fun as hell. Nothing new, just more people joining.
All right.
Which we love all you people joining.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
If you guys have anything to add or anything to say, let us know. We'll read it off or whatever. We're just kind of chilling about languages right now. We're also talking about Echo.
Because I also got to look on Duolingo if they have the Native American languages, because, I mean, that just dives straight into my
Oddly
freaking
enough,
lineage.
universally panned by a lot of my YouTube pundits that I usually listen to. And I, for once, did not watch a single review of Echo before I watched the show. So I watched the show first. And then I watched them and went, wow, we're really disagreeing here. All right, cool. Different takes.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed it for
Oh, I love the
what it
Daredevil
was.
part. I love the Daredevil part. That
Well,
part
for
where
me, I
Daredevil showed up, I was
understood it
like,
because-
yes, Daredevil!
Because of the whole dynamic of it's the Kingpin and Daredevil TV
Oh, I love the
series,
relationship between
how it
her.
like went back into that and then came back into its own show. That's
The
what I like.
relationship between Maya and Kingpin is beautiful. It is tragically
It is an
beautiful.
interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it is like insane because like years ago there was a little show called Daredevil and it was on Netflix before they all
It's on
changed
Disney
everything.
now, yeah.
Yes, but they before they put it on Disney Plus finally after rights and licensing whatever. There was a little show known as Daredevil back in like 2016, 2017, and it was called Daredevil. And it opened up with this really awesome fight scene that was by the docks, like boat docks, and with a warehouse. And in that storyline, Kingpin and Maya didn't know each other. It was a different continuity. So this whole Maya thing is new. Like, it's a new continuity. It's a reshaped version of it. But
Or a push into the story. They should have put this in. We're gonna put it in
right, and it's
through this show.
and they're keeping the fact that his dad was murdered. They're keeping the fact that some of the other stuff is intact. Even Daredevil's using the same exact suit. It's slightly different on this new show. So there's a lot of stuff that's the same, but there's a lot of stuff that's also different. So it's like a
Which
different
is
version.
good in my opinion.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. Like, I love the shit out of it. Like, that whole scene with Daredevil, in fact, especially since, like, the very beginning, you're like, okay, so she's whooping ass, she's Echo, whatever, she's the main character. Why is she not getting shot by a gun? Okay, she's got character protection. And then Daredevil shows up, and then she gets her ass whooped. And you're like, oh, damn, okay, they're showing that Daredevil is seasoned, and they know that he knows something too. And especially his first thing he says to her is like, it's like, I've been hanging out here for hours, and then you guys show up, and you screw up everything. And I'm like, classic Daredevil line.
Well, I just found the whole dynamic interesting, and how it's going back to her hometown, and all the people in her hometown are involved with the Kingpin, like his whole criminal organization.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this shows how deep he's not just in New York, he's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah. No, especially when she's, like, in
'Cause they're
her
in,
hometown. She's in Oklahoma, Tomahawk, Oklahoma. And she's trying to stop those trains, and the trains are obviously
Well, I
going
mean,
to
as soon as it showed Tomahawk,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, like...
Because I lived in Oklahoma. I know a lot of these
motherfuckers
town
moved-
names.
That motherfucker's moved to small towns and other towns and not just in New York City. Like, he has stretched out his wings.
He branched out and wasn't just a little bitch.
Wasn't just a New York City mob boss, yes.
Which is always what they portrayed him as, because most of the, like with Spider-Man in the cartoon series, because it's a New York series.
Yeah, because he was always
He's
in New York.
the Kingpin in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never anywhere else. And so it was
My
fun though,
biggest
like
complaint
watching
about
her take that motorbike
Kingpin,
and
though,
sending it up, flying into the cop
was
car, And he comes out of the car.
Daredevil,
Yeah.
the movie, when it was the black guy.
Oh.
I mean, no offense to him.
Oh, you're
He's
talking
a good
about
actor.
that one. Yeah, Ben
but
Affleck. Ben Affleck.
That did
Daredevil.
not. I liked the
Michael
movie.
Clark Duncan.
I didn't like who they picked for Kingpin because he's supposed to be what looks like a fat white guy, but he's all muscle. It's like, y'all fucked up the Kingpin. Y'all bunch of assholes.
I thought he did well for what he was
He played the
given.
character proper.
Yeah.
But it's the thing that he's always been what looks like I always talk about, like with Justice League Unlimited, like the guy who looks like he's fat as shit, but he's all muscle. It's all bulk.
Yeah, no,
He's
Vincent.
only got like an inch or two of fat, so when you hit him, it's like hitting a brick wall. That's how I always saw Kingpin because of the Spider-Man series, the animated series back in the 90s.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio does a fantastic character. I'm so glad.
I think he played the character right. My
Yeah.
only issue is, but he's supposed to be a big fat white guy. Why is he a big muscular black dude? What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, I liked the version that Michael Clark Duncan played on the old Daredevil movie, but I really love Vincent D'Onofrio's take.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, his take on this character is brutal, empathetic, compassionate. Like, he's scary. Like,
well, do you know what his original, like, or what most people know him from?
You mean the actor?
Yeah.
I mean, I've known him from a few different shows.
Well, what's the one what's the one that pops into your head when you think of that actor the most?
Aside from Kingpin?
Yeah.
The last role I really saw him in, aside from like some of the comedy shows he played in and some of the other stuff, was Jurassic World.
Oh.
Like
Law and Order SVU.
I remember him on that too. There was one time where there was one of the reruns was actually playing on the TV downstairs.
He was the main character. He was the guy who was always, because of the way his life before the show.
Yeah.
Because he goes into a little bit in the show, but his whole dynamic is he's psychoanalyzing everybody because he knows he has the potential to be a psychopath and be a serial killer.
I remember that. I remember watching it.
His dad and his family and growing up in certain situations, he knows he has the capability to do it, but he decided to use that capability to analyze and find the bad guys.
Yeah, I just ran the rainbow upstairs in the kids' room and was bouncing around rooms, and I heard the dunk dong, and I'm like, oh god, that's playing again. And then like I went downstairs to go do something, and then I came in and I heard a very defined voice playing on the TV, and I heard him talking, and I'm like, wait, what? And I went into the back of the living room and sat down, and I looked at the TV, and there's Vincent D'Onofrio playing his character on SVU, and I'm like,
he played that character.
And I'm just there watching and being like,
I think it was like 5 or 6 seasons. You'd have to
I like looking at the TV like this, like the look on my face. I'm like, and then I look over and Emerson over the thing. She's just like, looks over at me and goes, "You okay, babe?" And I'm like, "It's Kingpin." And she's just all like, "You didn't know that, babe?" And I'm like, "No, it's Kingpin." And I'm just like going into fanboy mode, just watching him play on SVU with a completely different character.
I completely see that, but my brain goes, because he played that character who analyzed from his past trauma in that character's life is why he knows how to play the Kingpin as well as he does. Yeah. Alright, I like this. He's older, and he's actually put on some muscle, or he's just bulkier now, because then he was a big dude, but he was a tiny big dude. He wasn't bulky.
Oh, by the way,
I like him as Kingpin because he's actually got
he's
some girth to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
especially when he's
kind of
just
like me. It's the you see the girth and you're like, is he fat or is he muscle? I don't know. I'm not gonna take a chance. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, like
that's what goes through my mind.
When he gets out of that car in that scene, he gets out of that car because the motorbike got driven into a cop car. He gets out of the car and he just casually walks past the cop because the cop's just like, "You sure you can't be here?" And he just doesn't even put his hand up to brush him off. He just walks past him without even looking at him. And he goes over and grabs Maya and just drags her off. And then the other cop's like, do you know who that is? And then he like almost revealed who he was. And then he brought him into the car. And then suddenly he's like, "I'm very concerned, Maya." And I'm like going, that's a Kingpin like opening.
Well, when I saw it, I'm just like, okay, that fits the character. But I mean, I like him because I understand that mentality.
Yeah.
Because it's like walking into DI. If I can't get help from any employee, first place I do or go, I go in the back room, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I go back there. Can I help you? Nope. Do you know where you're going? Yep. And I just go back to the manager's office, find one I know, or go, need you help?
I just found it was so impressionable with like his just the fact that he could just go up to her, grab her, and the cops don't even stop him. The cops are just like, all right, Kingpin's doing this, and then it just shows the dynamics of the city.
Don't step on the toes of the guy who could kill me and or bribe me later, and I could be rich.
Or somebody else could end up killing them because of the fact that they did something else. Yeah, because he owns the city. And it just shows the level of like power he already has and influence. And Daredevil is going to be in some hot ass water in the new Daredevil series with the way they positioned it.
Oh yeah, no, I think the dynamic will be a lot better because I like the bad guy or good guy, just the character in general, who kind of, I mean, this is always where I took it from. It's like, oh, you're gonna try to tell me I can't do something? Okay, you're gonna keep doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's the, hello, did you hear me? Fuck you, I got shit to do.
Yeah.
And it's not even a fuck you as in, fuck you. It's you're unimportant to what the current circumstances, kiss my ass. And keep moving.
You're like hardwired, like one track minded on the current task at hand.
Yeah. Because if you can't keep on task, you're literally just, well, we'll see what the fuck happens. No, fuck that. I know what's going to happen because I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. What I like also a lot about the series is it goes into the lore of, at least that current take lore of the Native American tribe of Choctaw, because it like goes into like the people that came out of the earth, like they literally pop out of the cave area.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an interesting. That's where my brain goes to. Oh, so it's the original story, like Adam and Eve were made from the earth.
Yeah, you were talking about that before.
Yeah, and it's like, but they slightly alter it because the story's been changed because I went into it because of the Book of Mormon and other stuff on how the story's the same everywhere. The only difference is who made them, or if they just became. They brought themselves into existence, sort of thing. And I always love the different dynamics on that stuff because it's like, ooh, I can dive in, I can either debunk it or have fun. Let's see where the story goes with this mythos. I don't know this mythos 100%, but I've heard it. You know, growing up in Oklahoma, you hear a lot of the mythos with the origin stories.
Yeah.
And because I grew up in the 80s, going through the school late 80s, early 90s, before they tried to hide stuff and actually talked about other countries and mythos and what they believe was the origin or how the earth was created.
Yeah.
And how humans came into fruition because of the entity God or whatever name they give the God.
Yeah.
And
got a different name for him.
Yeah. And my whole thing is, okay, I can match that up with this story I know. Okay, that one goes on it. That one, I can see where they're all connected and slightly altered because of so many verbalations. Somebody mispronounced the word or something, and it goes down. That's like Moses telling God, you want me to be the prophet and tell all the people, but yet I have a speaking deficiency where I don't speak properly in their language.
Yeah.
Well, grab your brother. He can speak properly in their language, and that becomes the whole dynamic. You have the prophet, and then you have the guy telling everybody what the prophet said. Because he understands him. It's like it's the translator. It's like you always see the deaf, you know, especially in Echo, the lady saying what Kingpin's saying at the very beginning.
Yeah, you got a translator because of the Maya. Because Maya is deaf, can't hear anything.
And
so
learn
they have
American Sign Language
when
she was a kid.
Yeah, so they know, she knows American Sign Language, so you know who knows Maya very well, unless she is lucky and somebody doesn't know her very well and happens to know American Sign Language. But with her interactions with Kingpin, he's always got a translator
and the family
on site so that they can communicate properly.
Except for the last scene on episode 3.
Yeah,
which I thought was fun.
Oh yeah, no, I thought that was interesting.
That's an interesting, and you're like, season finale. I'm like, no, and I just let it go, and you're like, wait, episode 4, what? We were only in episode 3.
Yeah, it was like, that felt like a finale.
Hit the home button, like, yep, we'll have to watch that later. You're like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, it was so crazy because it's like, I'm so used to the normal that Disney and Marvel
the way they do the finales and shit.
How they crafted their seasons before, that would have been the season. That would have been the season. Like how they had the overall pacing and the way that they did that last episode. I was like, so this is the finale. Got it. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, you got 2 more episodes. And it's like...
And you went, wait, what? And I just went, hey, you weren't paying attention. And I just laughed at it because it's nothing against you. For me, that's just a funny...
Well,
we forgot what episode we were on.
Well, it's fun though because that means I was able to get into the show.
Yeah, no, I also enjoyed the fuck out of that.
The show.
Yeah.
I was inside the show with like Hawkeye and some of the other shows they've put out so far. I kind of like I was into it. I was enjoying it for what it was, but at the same time, I wasn't into it, and so therefore I knew where they were, and I was like, okay, this is the finale. Okay, I guess it's all right. It's a good finale, and then like. But, like, it wasn't like Netflix's shows with, like, you know, with Daredevil where it gets really fucking intense and by the time you get to the last three stretch, you're just, like, going... And then by the time you get to the end, you're like, fuck, it's over.
Yeah.
You're, like, pulse pounding and everything. You're like, yeah, let's go. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, credits. And it's like, damn it. Are they going to do another season? Shit! That was great!
Right?
So, like, I'm hoping the next 2 episodes are really just as good.
Oh, I think they will be. I think this next one's going to be a little bit more drama than action. So it's going to dive into a little bit more of the history that they didn't show in the first episode.
Yeah.
Of why and how and certain things. I'm just going to enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah. No, I've from what I understand, some people have said it's a quote-unquote letdown. Others have said it's really good. Others have said they inverted expectations. So I'm hoping for good and inverted expectations. Because that's usually... Because remember how I said at the very beginning of that one episode, I was like, oh, that's crafty as hell how they're opening this. That's interesting as fuck. And, like, it's because, like, they use the old-timey film style to mesh
they're doing it
to the style of the show.
As far as I'm concerned. They're building the show how... In my opinion, 90+%, if not all shows that have to do with like superheroes or the like comic book story dynamic should
meshing
be done.
In the idea of like actual real world lore with comic book
that
lore
also, yeah,
and stuff, especially
because
with
I mean that would
a tribal
if
lore
they did
like
it
that,
better
with the tribes
that way.
Yeah,
Thor would have been better because it would have gone more into the mythos before just.
Oh, if they'd gone more into the Nordic lore,
the stupid superhero he is, he'd actually been. And it kind of goes into it when he's the fat Thor, and I'm like, okay, they overdid the fat because he's always been muscular. Yeah, and my thing is like, even Thor being the drunkard, fat Thor is still built like a fucking goddamn freight train.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he might not be ripped because he's got a belly, but his arms are just... It's like, really?
He should have been able to, like... As soon as Thanos came at him and tried to, like, shove an axe in his chest like he did in the end of Infinity War. I know they were doing that so they could do the whole... Captain America, come with the hammer. But really, I feel like he should have been able to be like, hey, by the way, Thanos, you're like a ragdoll. And then, you know, this is for Loki.
The whole dynamic,
This is for Loki, that sort of thing. Like an homage to him because, because Hulk did it to Loki.
Yeah.
And, like, just grab his leg and just fucking throw him around. Because, like, honestly, I didn't like how they did that whole thing with Thor.
But see, I understand why they didn't do it partially. It's because he's supposed to be a Titan, which are the gods before the gods, so he's a greater god.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but you still could have had more of a, I'm going to do this in tribute to my brother because you killed him, but yet, get 1 or 2 slaps into it before he's like, bitch, I'm not a lightweight.
Yeah.
And it'd have been a better battle between them instead of the little shit match it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was, for the experience it was in the theater, I enjoyed myself. I liked Infinity Wars. It was a fun movie. Have I seen it multiple times? No. I've seen it
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it a couple times outside the theater. It's not something that I typically return to a whole lot, and I think part of that is what they did to Hulk, and part of it is what they did to Thor and some of the other characters.
Yeah,
but
the way they did it was just like, are you serious? Really?
What they did with it was a fun spectacle type entertainment, but at the same time, like it kind of stops there. It's fun spectacle entertainment. It's a fun movie to watch with your family. Fun movie to watch by yourself if you want.
Yep.
But at the same time, like it's not something that like it's not an opus.
Whew.
It's more like it's kind of like it's an Avengers movie, and you're like, okay, well this is before Disney decided to go with everything else.
Yeah, when Bob took over.
Yeah, and so it's like
we'll all blame Bob because clearly he has not been keeping the reins tight and the whole company's falling apart. I wonder why, you piece of shit.
Yeah, so this
I
show.
mean, nothing against him. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
get any of that crap like what happened last week. But it's like, are you stupid? Do you not see the freaking picture in front of you? I'm like, how blind are you people? It's like,
Right.
come on.
Yeah, and I like this little side tangent they're going on. Did you notice that at the very beginning of the show it's called Marvel Spotlight?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the new branding for it, apparently, for short shows like this where they're 5-6 episodes and they're just like Spotlight. Here's a character you guys don't know that much about. We're gonna make it more important.
Here's a character you might not know as well as the rest because even being a Marvel fan, it's one of the tenured characters.
Yeah, it's like a spotlight. It's like a hey, you may not know this person, but they'll become important later.
Yeah.
Like I like that, and I like the side tangent they're going on with this show because I know it's not gonna be a major Marvel property.
It's like we were talking about how. Brain, I had the thought. What was it? Oh, how at the end of Ahsoka, Homeboy and Thrawn comes back as a Bridger.
Oh yeah.
And Thrawn comes back at the end. It's like you're like, oh, that leads into these 3 movies that they said they're going to be doing for Star Wars.
Yeah, I know when they the way they ended Ahsoka, the TV show, different show, but the way they ended Ahsoka.
Well, I mean, it
I
all
was
kind
like,
of fits in.
I was like watching it with him and the wife and stuff, and we're watching it late at night, and because we basically watched the first 4 episodes, and then after that we watched the last half of the show, back to back pretty much between different nights, and we got to the very end, and I was like, oh, this is gonna lead into that movie, and then the wife's like, wait, what movie? And I'm like, Heir to the Empire. You may have heard of it. She was like, no, I haven't.
I never pay attention to their posts or anything
anymore
because it's no offense, it's not as reliable and or
depending on
making me happy by what I've seen. So it's like when you tell me, I'm like, okay, let's see if this pooch too.
Yeah, depending on Kathleen Kennedy, depending on
do something
Disney bureaucracy with Lucasfilm, it may not even happen in the first place. But from what I understand, they're setting up the idea of a trilogy because they still want to make Star Wars movies because they make money. So I'm wondering if they're gonna use that as the next one.
Ass backwards with the we get to make more Star Wars movies. It's like
they're so half-assed on whether or not they're gonna make another rated.
You're literally effing up the whole series because even Mark Hamill's like, that is not Luke Skywalker, you mother.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
interesting.
he was pissed about it. I'm like, yeah, even if you're saying it, they should have been like, okay, fine, we'll listen.
By the way,
completely screw it.
When you look up the very last Star Wars saga movie, bunny ears, because that might change. But the very last Star Wars saga movie, Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9.
Yeah.
You look that up on Wikipedia, and then you look it up on like different other outlets, not just Wiki or any other typical source. There is talk that they've hired on some lady who's supposed to direct the next Rey-centered movie that isn't a Star Wars episode title, but is Star Wars a sequel
kind
type
of like
of thing.
They did with the Solo movie.
Yeah, kind of like that. And they're expecting it to turn into another
what part
trilogy.
are they going to do? After or before?
Rey is supposed to be creating her own Jedi Academy.
So they're diving deeper into that, which is, no offense, what they should have done with the whole Luke.
Yeah, and the director that's supposed to be hired on or is signing on for it, she also is known for her work with activism and social activism. So I kind of was like, what else have you done that isn't that, please, sci-fi related something? Because like we want to see a good movie.
It seems asinine with the way they're doing a lot of it. It's like,
yeah, it's like, let's hire a bunch of
y'all
activists and not filmmakers.
serious? Can we just like do the show?
Right.
That's like when
That's how you neutered Finn, Lucasfilm. That's how you neutered Finn, was with your activism. And you're supposed to be for Finn, not against him.
Look at how they did the Lord of the Rings with now I don't know if they did it on purpose or they couldn't get enough white actors or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like all of a sudden we have black elves. Or you know, darker skinned people from these other races. But yet in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, they're not that dark. So did they like get killed off?
It was curious that they never really had any dark elves, like darker skinned elves.
Well, I thought it was weird that they didn't have them, but I also thought it was weird because they did the series on Prime I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't dive deep into why, or did that race get bred out or killed with the first war against Sauron?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think they're gonna do it in a way so that way the darker
as far as I'm aware, the OG creator is dead. The OG creator is dead,
off.
and you'd have to ask the new guy who I think finished it with Rings of Power.
I mean, no offense, the way they left Rings of Power,
Also
they better have
Jackson
more
was.
of the series, or I'm gonna be really pissed because it's kind of bullshit the way they left it off. It's like you're only showing the 3 rings for the elves.
Yeah, the Prime series. I'm not even sure if we're gonna get a sequel to that. They might.
The second one.
Yeah.
I hope, but I don't bet on it. It's kind of the well, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, I liked the last couple episodes of Rings of Power because I liked the fact
I liked
that
you found out that the
it was
crazy
fun.
old guy
It was
is
fun
more
watching
likely
the Rings
Gandalf or Sauron.
Yeah.
And or not Sauron. Wait, no, it is Sauron. That one was the white.
Well, the normal
magician,
looking
right?
guy was Sauron. The normal looking human guy.
That's what I meant. The normal guy's the bad guy, and the guy who has the magic. We find out. I think they're gonna turn him into Gandalf, or that's what he's supposed to be.
That would be fun.
But my thing is he Gandalf? Is he the brown wizard?
I think he's
or is
different.
he Sauron?
Honestly, I think he's different.
The white wizard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know the.
Or is he the origin wizard that teaches the other 3 or 4
character I
wizards?
think you're talking about that was with the littler people.
Yeah, with the hobbits. The original hobbits.
I don't think they were hobbits. I think they were a different race than hobbit, but they were very similar.
Well, it's what I consider it is the origin race of the hobbits.
When I was on Wikipedia and looking up a bunch of random Lord of the Rings lore, as I do when I'm watching Rings of Power, because I wanted to make sense of some of the stuff I was seeing.
Yeah.
The dude wizard that you're talking about, I believe he was actually one of the other.
Blood of the origin race of wizarding power.
Yeah. And yes, guys, we're bouncing between Marvel and Rings of Power. You should have seen it when we were doing Star Wars.
Oh, I mean, we've even tapped on Star Wars for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tap
we'll
between.
Go back to that.
We tap between all fandoms because that's just how we are.
All the time.
That's why we're called crazy. Part of why we're called Crazy Peas.
Yeah, that was part of the original. I'm like, and you're like, well, you never stay on task, so we're just gonna call it Crazy Peas because we're gonna be going everywhere all at once. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, that works. I like it.
I still need to watch the movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was apparently a Grammy-nominated film or Oscar nominated or something like that.
Sure, why not? If it's on Prime or something, we could sit downstairs and watch
I think
it.
it's actually on Max. I'll check to see where it's at. We can watch it. Amber will like it.
Well, of course.
It's got Kung Fu Lady.
Yeah, she'll enjoy it. I know she will. But my brain goes, maybe.
Just the line you said there, everywhere at once. I'm like, that's a movie title.
Yeah, when you said that, I'm like, oh, I know the story. I don't know anything about the movie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff, I know the stories, the original stories, or the background stories. Like with The Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and some of the stuff, they're like, well, he also wrote all these other books because everybody wanted to know the mythos that they're always talking about in the book.
Yeah, the Cimmerian and some of the other stuff that's in there.
Yep, some of the pre-Lord of the Rings or Sauron getting the rings in the original set and going way back when.
I think it's funny that people complained about that second trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, especially when like half of that trilogy wasn't even the Hobbit book. It was the Cimmerian put into action. And then the Rings of Power series was also the Cimmerian.
It gets brought up, not by a lot of people, but by some people, like with the metaphysical guys, them talking about it on their podcast. They've talked about how actually his books are not like Narnia. They're, if you look at them, or you actually look at what they were looking at, it's not actually a fiction book. It's literally, hey, these are the stories from Native Americans or Native way back when stories that this is what they thought was reality, or this is their story. It's a historical story.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's mythos because we don't know if it's true or fake or all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, that kind of dives into that stuff for me because it's like, okay, now we're diving into the mythos part, which he had to write to fill in the parts because everybody kept asking questions and that wasn't part of the story, so he has to fill it in himself.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, no, I love it when they take original material and they adapt it in a really well done way, but then they add to it with like some of that stuff that you're talking about. Like stuff's pretty delicious to me.
Well, I mean that's like what is it? Luke Skywalker or Anakin or any true story like Harry Potter. It's like you mean King Arthur?
Yeah.
With Harry Potter with wands, which is just like Jedi with Star Wars. The sword is the lightsaber. That's the sword that makes you the king or the most powerful entity to take over or try to save everybody.
Yeah. Speaking of...
It goes into the story like King Arthur. I'm just like...
It makes me think of the Percy Jackson series, which I watched the recent episode with Ares, the God of War.
I haven't watched the last two. I'm part way through episode 4.
Yeah. Edge shows up as Ares.
Yeah, you were telling me that's the actor.
You will love his take on Ares.
Well, I mean, I like Ares as the mythos of Ares as the god of war.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the Ares that's from Xena and Legends of Hercules from back in the 90s.
Yeah, this guy is nothing like that. He's a
well, no, because from my knowledge of the Ares mythos is the original one in Greek mythology was horrible, but the next guy who got the title, or who he changed into with the Romans, he slightly changed, but he was still kind of a dick.
Yeah.
So it was the first guy. Because I know, because researching actually looked into it through what would now be considered remote viewing, but like looking into history and the way I do with meditation and whatnot, I went and did a deep dive way, way, way back in the day before everything was on the internet, before the internet became
before the internet became the internet.
Yeah, before the internet was what it is now.
Yeah.
It's looking into the mythos, doing meditations, actually talking to the entities. It's like, yeah, no, the first one was a douchebag. That's why he no longer got the title. I took over the title because he didn't know how to do the job. He's just like, yeah, kill each other, you fucking idiot mortals. It's like,
yep.
The God of War, fight for what's yours and what you're right to fight for.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Ares I like.
That's the Ares that's in this show. Like,
so I'll like it.
You will love the hell out of it. Also, his first act as the God of War in this series, you're going to find this funny as hell and you're going to laugh your ass off when it happens.
Or I'll snicker and enjoy the shit out of it.
He starts a war on Twitter.
Of course.
And then when Grover is talking to him about the different quiet wars, where it's like massive immense power, but then a quiet finish, a quick surrender, he was telling him about those. Those are some of the greatest hits that Ares ever had as the God of War. And Ares goes, nobody ever talks about that. Like, ever. But those are always just so forgotten.
Recognizes that shit.
Yeah, and Grover goes, those were actually some of my favorite ones that you ever did. And you find out that Grover's a massive fan of Ares the God of War. A little bit of exaggeration to get on his good side, but at the same time,
Yeah.
Same
Well,
time,
for
he's
me,
like, he likes the God of War.
I like who the God of War is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Who the one who got the last title as Ares, the title Ares, as that's your new spot, because we don't like the asshole in charge right now, or the guy who's doing it because he's doing it wrong.
Yep.
By the other guys, literally vote out the small fry, put in somebody who actually can do shit the way it's supposed to be done.
Yep.
I like the last 2 or 3 that were put in. But they're not always called Ares because it depends on what region they have different names.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, like we've discussed on the podcast and in personal too.
Yeah.
On one-on-one. That's where I like taking the stories. I like diving into that stuff. Well, who's the God of War in Egypt? Who's the God of War in Norse mythology? Who's the God of War in this? Oh, it's all the same guy.
Oh, I went down that
it's
rabbit
just
hole
different
the other
names. Oh yeah, I love going down that rabbit hole. The deep dives you can get into and the information that you find out about the differences, but they're basically the same person. It's like, yeah, these guys are all the same dude. They do it the right way. This guy, the original asshole who had the title, was a douchebag and a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because if you actually look at the mythos, he's a big piece of shit.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah, no, I remember looking into some of that back when I was reading the Percy Jackson series.
When you're actually reading it, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like going, my God, this guy's a douchebag. And then the wife was like, wait, really? And I'm like, yeah, you would not like to hear the stories that I'm looking into. This guy is kind of a piece of work.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like a really big one. And
I'm like, you think the one guy's mean.
Well, that's always the fun part. It's like, the part I hated about the whole Hercules series is like, well, you're the favorite one and you're immortal. You're half mortal. It's like, the entity that I know is Ares. It's like, why would that bother me? I'm immortal. I'm a god. What? Why? It's like petty fucking mortal shit. Why would I put my... Oh.
Right.
That's too under me.
Exactly. It's like, that's a little too beneath me, guys. Your guys' opinions do not matter.
And I would never do that because that's beneath me. That's my father's bullshit. He's got to do it. That's not my bullshit.
What's funny is that exact thing you just said about the whole father thing and this thing. Some of that is said in this new episode between Grover and Ares. And like, in which Grover's questioning about some stuff and Ares just kind of offhand goes, yeah, my father does this stuff and sometimes it's stupid and I don't agree with it. And then he goes, right? Yeah, stupid sister Athena. And I'm just like going, I'm all like, Tim's gonna like the shit out of this.
Of course.
Karnage is gonna love Ares like crazy. Like, even I was like going, how the hell when I read the story when I was younger, did I go, oh my God, I don't like Ares, he's kind of a dick. And then I'm like, wait, I've had a perspective shift since then. This guy's hilarious. This guy's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I get my most enjoyment is through like that. It's like, yes, you stupid little people. Oh.
Yep.
It's like we were discussing and you're like, yeah, look, he basically said, why would we worry ourselves about your stupid little mortal problems? We have other shit to take care of.
Right.
Like all of existence. We come in and tag in or give you pushes where you need it, but why do I care?
Yeah.
It's not going to affect my end game or my end of story. I know what my end of story is. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he helps out those that he chooses to help, but at the same time, it's like...
Well, and also if you know how to listen into the, what you call God radio, which I think it's funny. My brain says, you stole that from Supernatural because the angel radio. No, not consciously, subconsciously.
Whatever.
No, I find it funny, but I also was like, whenever it's like, why would I care about your mortal bullshit? My brain goes instantly into like, yeah, didn't somebody also say that in like Supernatural? Dude, we don't care about your mortal bull crap.
It's something that I hear a lot across multiple different pieces of fandom, pop culture, between different shows that get written.
And through the actual sources too.
And a lot of writers will sit there and write the same stuff, like feels recycled, but really it's not.
Fact. It's like,
it's just something that gets echoed. It gets echoed like a ripple through time and through civilizations, through cultures, through different backgrounds because it's that layer of truth that filters through the cosmos.
That a lot of people nowadays are like, but my existence is the best existence, the top existence. I'm number one. Are you? Or only in your head? Why would the gods of all existence give two shits about you? And why would the God of the gods who created them care about your little wham for me?
Right.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
The only time gods usually favor somebody is when they, one, are doing something for the god, but also when they are able to be
when they are needed in the plan that is already in
motion, and they also when the mortal ends up impressing the hell out of the god because they did something that was completely out of the ordinary, and it was not
or they didn't expect from that mortal.
And the mortal may not have even planned it. They may have done an accident. They're like, I can't repeat that shit. Sorry. And the god goes, it was still impressive. What else you got going up your sleeve?
Pull something else magical out of your asshole.
Yeah, they're like, to them, self-pity just means that you're defeating yourself.
Right. It's so, I mean, that's kind of the way the world works. It's so denying of self. It's like, like we've discussed on here, or there.
Yeah.
But it's
on
like
both places.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Stop stopping yourself. It's just everybody that's popping in either for a second, staying, or just bouncing.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see what else they could have been saying.
If they stay, they stay. If they don't, okay, I hope you have a wonderful day.
It's a TikTok live. Literally, all they do is they go in it, they see us talking, either they hear us talking for 5 seconds, or they click on it so they can hear it, and then they zip out. It's that simple.
I'm not offended or hurt or anything. It's just like some stay, some don't.
When it says joined, really that just means that
they popped in.
They popped in for 5 seconds.
Because when I'm scrolling to look for somebody specific that I haven't liked or followed, or just looking for something that catches my attention, I just go, nope, you're fixing a car, don't care. You're doing this, don't care. Not my cup of tea. Ooh, here's my cup of tea.
We hope that we are someone's cup of tea, because that'd be cool. Yeah, we're that square that's talking right now.
Yeah, we're the weird square that fits in the circle hole, and everybody's like, that's not supposed to work.
Right?
By your definition or mine?
Yeah.
Or is your circle hole a lot smaller than mine? That's why I can fit my square peg into that circle hole.
Right?
Which is always the ha-ha for me.
Exactly. Let's see here. Where did Gusto go?
Calypso?
Yeah,
I have
Calypso.
not a clue.
I haven't seen her talk.
Out.
I haven't seen her talk in a while, so either her phone died or she passed out.
Since that last ass or clap or whatever those three were.
Yeah, she did the thing, and we're like, is that an ass cheeks or is that like a clap? Or what is that? And then she never clarified.
No, I think she passed out before.
She just bounced. She's like, bye.
or I noticed it, made the comment. She's like, hey, they noticed me.
Pretty much. Like, she's just like this. She's all like, because I've seen her in bed do this. She'll be like, yep. or she'll do this. She'll hold the phone. She'll roll over to where the phone's on the other side, and then she goes, and it falls on the bed. and then like after we're done and stuff, I'll go in there and go check on her, and I'll see the phone. And she'll be like, and then she'll go, when Lucy makes enough noise, and then she goes, oh, my phone died. Damn it.
That one's always.
Where's the charger? Oh, there's the charger. Okay, I'm gonna let it charge. And I'm like, you do this every week.
Just pass out to the lunacy of your brother and your husband.
Yep.
I mean, it's hilarious. Yep. And it's entertaining. But at the same time, well, at least you came in.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. At least you came.
I don't think she liked the video. Did she?
Yes, she did.
Did she give
Well,
it
you
hearts?
were gone, and I was just randomly talking about just random pick I picked.
Yeah.
Before I decided to hit the record and whatnot.
Should it be at least 500 hearts?
YouTube around.
Ish.
Or maybe a hair smaller, and a few other people have hit on the way through.
Alright. Cool.
I haven't seen a whole bunch of hearts pop up, but it could be they're hitting it and it's just not telling me. Yeah. I don't care either way, because I just enjoy having people around.
Yeah. I just figured I'd ask because I know that increases traffic in some way.
Yeah. It said something about, you have 500 likes or something, blah, 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 more traffic. And then after that, it didn't say crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Well, hey, you know what? At least it's better than we were last week. You remember what happened last week?
Actually, I find that quite fracking worse.
Yeah.
I think it's because you were on your phone watching it, and because you kept tapping it with one finger to get us so many likes. We got in one of those people who bitch and complain and get you canceled.
Yeah, the people that are trigger happy.
I'm trying to cancel everybody because they can't do anything for themselves. They're just gonna sit there in their pity party and bitch and complain about everybody else. It's like, how about you do something with your life and leave me alone with my random talk show?
It's like the random chaos.
Which is what I thrive in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, actually,
it's like you always talking about, like, Loki, when you first started hearing him, oh yeah, I know Karnage.
Yeah, I remember that too. It threw me for a loop.
And then when you told me, I'm like, that sounds about right. He's got to be one of those 10 or 30 voices I hear in the back of my head constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's admitted it too because I've made that comment, and he's like, he's just laughing in the background. Gossip.
Yeah, no, that whole episode was one of the most weird, interesting, eye-opening experiences ever. And what's even funnier is when we were telling Mare about it earlier today, and I literally said to her
because laughing about it
because I had to bring it up too because of the fact that I know for a fact that she's probably been thinking to herself like, why can't I hear any of this? Because she's all like, I've been following the faith and I've been involved in this for decades and whatever. So I was all like, you're not the only, we're not the only ones that can do this, by the way. Like, it's not some weird secret fan club with superpowers. Like, all you have to do is just open your third eye and you're there. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, did she not get that? Like,
with as much as I say to her and talk about it in front of her, to you and everybody,
I was like, how does she not understand that?
How is that not like the instant, like, oh, have I been keeping it that closed?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that close, or I didn't realize I had the blinders on.
My theory is because she's so on the defense.
Because of certain situations,
yeah. Because she's so on the defense because of certain situations that keep happening, that it has limited her ability of spirituality, of being fully open to it.
Truly is, yeah.
Because she's so because when you're on the defense like that, you're open enough to know that your connection with a deity is big, or close, or personal, or yours, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not like open to all of it because you're so on the defensive. So you're doing this. So you're not like this, where you're like able to be open, but yet defend yourself when you need to, but open like this. She's like this, and she's been like this for decades.
Yeah. Well, that's like you saying that Nanny said. You literally told me, and I think you said it in front of the mom and
I did.
Your wife for a reason. It's like he's doing the right thing. Leave him alone. Let him do his shit.
Yeah. No, I literally was just translating in that moment.
No, I understood that. I'm like, yes, finally, somebody says it, which is you, for them to like, hey, he's doing what he needs to. Let him do it. Leave him alone.
She found it funny too when I brought up the fact that I'm like, yeah, no, by the way, the nanny wants to inform you all that it's poetic irony that thanks to a certain someone, I've always been treated like the write-off in-law, and yet I'm the one that she's talking to.
Well, as soon as you said that,
uses a channel to communicate.
I just smiled because I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. And?
Yeah, it was funny.
And Mom's like, okay then.
Yeah, like she did not know how to take that. She was just like...
I saw her look at, whether she realized it or not, subconsciously or consciously, looked at the both of us and went, oh. Everything Tim's ever said is literally coming to fruition.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Karnage knows.
Yeah. No, she was so thrown for a loop today. Like, it was crazy. And what's funny is I am saying all this stuff like it's normal now for me. Like, this is my new normal. And
this is what I've been told,
yeah.
and these are the things I've been told
yeah.
because y'all need to hear it. And I just sit back in the chair and smile because I've been listening to it for decades, and you're throwing it at him, and I'm like, I don't throw it at you that this person told me this. I just like, here's the facts.
Yeah.
And you know with Dad, he's like, you shut up, you know what you're talking about. I'm just like, I have 10 times more knowledge than you, and I'm fucking 20 years younger than you. Maybe you should listen every once in a fucking blue moon.
Yeah, he acts like you're the dad and he's the kid.
Yeah, but
It's
yet
like
he
reversed.
bitches that you're not the father, I'm the father. You sure about that?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's right. You are the father. I'm the dad.
Yeah.
I literally tried to keep everybody out of hell and high water until you had my ass shipped across the country.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yep.
That's kind of what happened.
Yeah. And it's just so interesting how, like, I watch a show like Marvel, like a Marvel show.
Marvel, yeah.
Or anything fantasy sci-fi related where we're watching these interpretations of what we're talking about in real life happening, and we're like, okay, that's a cute version of that. That happened to me last week. All right. And
they
then
missed half the story. What the fuck?
yeah, and then like, and then you'll be talking to somebody in real life, and they're like, you'll explain to them what's happening, and they're just like, you're gonna be crazy, or wow, I'm gonna write off whatever it is you just said for the favor of my own perception bias, and I'm like,
or how the hell are you not freaking lost your mind and gone off murdering people?
It reminds me of Supernatural, the one episode where Sam runs into that atheist, and he's all like, so, you know, we met God, we know,
he exists.
He exists, and then the atheist just goes, that's impossible, you can't believe in that. He's like, why is that? He's like, because I'm an atheist. And then he goes, not anymore. And he goes, yeah, I know angel named Castiel. He wears a trench coat. And he's saying it like, you know,
it's everyday
like
shit.
it's everyday stuff.
Yeah.
And
like I'm always saying it.
And you know, it easily
it's
gets
common knowledge. Did you lose a step on the freaking
Yep.
getting here knowledge part?
Yeah, no, I love that part of the episode. I understand that's a TV show or whatever, but like, just the fact that just your notion that people that have the ability to do what we're doing and the ability to like tap into it,
see and hear it,
see it, and actually, and more than just see it, because there's see, which is SEE, which means you're using your eyeballs, and then there is seeing it.
Yeah, the third eye seeing it. You
Yeah.
literally, you see it without physically seeing the different variations of colors.
Yeah.
And you've said you can see some of the colors, and I'm just like, I don't see the colors, I just know.
Yeah, no, I could see auras and sense the energy, which is part of why a lot of times, whenever I end up going a certain place or starting somewhere, and it ends up being away from the negativity, people are like, "Where'd he go?" And it's like, "I don't know," and they're like, and then it's a mystery. Where did TPAW go? And it's like, I went away from the badness. I went away from the
no, last
negativeness.
time. Why is he always in that office? Maybe because he's writing another book.
Yeah, that's a way of explaining it. Yeah.
No, that's literally my. Here's information you will understand. Shut up.
The safe go-to.
Well, it's not even safe. It's just like I say the information.
Chances are I am writing something.
They will understand, and whether that's 100% what you're doing or that's only like 20% of what you're doing, you're still doing it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that's what you like to do. Even if you're not typing it or actually writing it down,
I will literally just be sitting in this exact same chair, leaning back, and coming up with stuff in my head. Then I'll be like, I should probably be writing this down. But then my brain goes, no, we're not done with formulating it yet. And then someone will be like, we need to take out the trash, or we need this, or we need that. And I end up doing like 3 other things that people are asking me to do. Then I come back in here and sit back down. And then I end up pulling out my phone and going, there's the Documents app. Click. Click. Oh, now I'm ready.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like you said earlier. It's like I'm sitting there. You mentioned Nanny. I just sit back and go, do. Okay, in a second. Let me finish. You finish what you're saying? Okay, hey, real quick, can you take out that trash?
Yeah.
And you took it out and you're like, yeah, no. Nanny said, yeah, no, I told him to tell you to take out the trash. I need to talk to you for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was weird because he said that, and then I got an urging, go outside, take out the trash. And I'm like, isn't that what he just said? He's like, no, I am saying you need to take out the trash because of this reason. So then I went out and I'm like, is the force talking to me with a female voice for some reason? The force is female. And then I closed the front door, took the trash bag out to the dumpster, threw it away, and then I heard her very poignantly in my head go, "Now stop." And I'm like, and I had gotten to the front door, like I was hovering in the front door area, like
I saw you walk past.
And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, and she's like, "Stop, halt," and I'm like, "And do what?" And she's like, listen to me. And she spent the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes being like, "I need to talk about this, this, and this," and then I was hearing her talk to me in my head, and then I was talking to her back and saying some of it out loud, very aware that nobody around me could hear. So I was like, "Cool, I could talk to myself out loud and not be called crazy." And then, and so I was listening to her.
Yeah,
and
why
stuff,
do you think I
and,
do it all the time?
Yeah.
Literally just da 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 da. No, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Oh, but come on, it'd be fun. It won't be fun, but you want to. It's not the point. I mean, you see me.
Yeah.
I spend 20 minutes talking to myself about fucking random shit you have no clue, and then when I'm done, and you give me a weird look, oh yeah, da 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 da, and then I go into full freaking detail on it, and you're like, you went through all that in 20 minutes? And I spent like an hour telling you everything I went through with the other entities or whatnot in my head for 20 minutes.
It can be quite confusing and interesting, especially
if you don't know that it's possible or it's there.
I know for a fact of what he's doing now because I've been doing it here and there. I don't say what I'm doing to everybody. I only say it like in spurts, or I'll give like a version of what's happening that people can understand, and then I move on. But
or with you when you're with me, oh yeah, they said this or they laughed at you.
With someone who
that.
knows what it is, it's like
it's so much easier, right?
This is what it is. But then it's like somebody else who's like utterly clueless and sometimes like optimistically aware, or whatever. Yeah, that too. You're just like, okay, blah 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 version, and they're like, okay, and then they like walk off, and you're like, okay, cool. You're doing whatever it is that was urged from me. And then, like, later on, someone will be like, so what was the real reason why you did that? I'll be like, don't worry about it. And then, like, if it's somebody who knows, I'll be like, this and this happened. They're like, why did you do it the first time? I'm like, say out loud what you just said, and then see how it sounds out loud. Okay, it does sound kind of crazy. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like, tell the story of what you just said.
At the gym, when you made the comment to the guy, and he didn't, like, flex or anything, or, like, well, there's only one guy, you know, do the usual, what you're used to. He just went, oh,
I
okay.
tested it out. I was like, so what if I told you I've been talking to a god named Loki? And he's like, okay. And I'm like, what? Really? Okay,
and I'm
cool.
just sitting there smiling, enjoying the whole thing, because it's like, yep.
Yep. And then like and then he got even deeper on it. And then you guys were both debating on which god did this or that. And I'm like, watching them and being like,
oh no, it wasn't which god
this is not a Percy Jackson series. This is real life.
Which god was mentioned in the Bible? He was talking about a part later on in the books, where I was talking a part about earlier in the books.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I know right where you're talking about. I'm talking about earlier in this part of the book. He says that, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's from the Egyptians. He says, well, you made the golden calf to worship this god, but I didn't say you could worship that god. I told you to worship me as your god because I am even his god.
Yeah.
Not denying that there's other gods, just you're not supposed to worship him. You're my people. You're supposed to worship me.
Right.
The Egyptians are there, or it's his people. You're my people, sort of thing.
You can be like me and just be like, hey, you're all cool.
Well, no, but I'm saying that's what the book says.
Yeah.
That's the dynamic that is part of the book.
Yeah. No,
So
I get that.
I just laugh at that stuff. It's just like, hey, if people actually knew either the hilarity or literally how many gods and or entities are sitting around them laughing because, God, are y'all that stupid? Or, hello? Do you not see what's in front of your face?
Yeah.
Because they forget being mortal, some of them, the other entities, and the gods are like, I'm glad I was never a mortal. Yeah. That would be such a restriction.
Yeah.
No wonder Karnage is frustrated with some of the stupidities he's seen. He's like, what the hell, people?
I've had myself feel the same way.
Yeah, we've discussed it.
Always sitting there, like, exploring something, and then I'll express how frustrated I am with a certain thing, and then you'll comment on it because you'll hear me talking about it. or I'll say it to somebody else, and I have to be careful how I word it to other people because I don't always get it. But, but when it's
regular mortals.
When it's just you and I and stuff, I just kind of just.
You just go full in.
Yeah.
And I like that because you're like, this is the lunacy that was said to me, or this is the lunacy I was told to tell somebody. I'm like, okay, that checks.
Yeah.
And it's just because I understand it. It's like, yep, that checks for this path.
Yep.
Okay, that checks. Or this person said this to me, and then I was told this by this entity. I'm like, yeah, they were off by like a hair on the mark.
Yeah.
But cool.
Pretty much.
I mean, I always find it funny when people are like, well, I hear this, or I heard God, or da-da-da-da. It's like, did you actually hear God? Are you sure it was your God? As a Christian, or a Muslim, or a Jew?
Yeah, I always double check that, because that's what I do a lot. Like, I will sit there and I'll hear something, but I don't automatically, because there's a difference between projecting your own bias.
Yep.
And actually seeing or hearing. Because some people will hear a thing and they'll be like, oh, that's got to be my God, or that's got to be this thing, because my bias is saying that it's got to be.
Yeah.
And it can't be anything more. And so when someone challenges it because they didn't sort it, they're like, oh, I'm offended now and angry, being Steve, because you're challenging my perception.
Or you're telling me I'm the liar.
Yeah, me, I will sit there and literally be like, is that Wookie? Or is that this person? And I'll like try to decipher what exactly I'm hearing and
or
why.
Who you're hearing it from.
Yeah, or who I'm hearing it from. Because I can tell when it's my mom. I'm
that one's kind of obvious,
yeah, I'm starting to learn the nanny. I call her the nanny because, you know, that's her title. And then you got Loki, and then you got Yahweh, and you got a few of the other gods that is easier to figure out who's talking and when.
Because of the way they talk and their inclinations.
Yeah, like there's an energy difference.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as like projecting my own biases, my own bias is all gods are lame and they suck and they're dicks. So I have to challenge my own bias and remember that not all gods suck, not all gods are dicks, and that I am a person who is in my personal journey trying to do better with my life, and part of that is not basting in my own negativity, basting in my own anger. And so when people are going, oh, you have bias too. Yeah, you're damn fucking sure I have bias. You know,
that's part of being immortal.
For years I've been angry with fucking God, okay? Like, especially after my mom died, okay? Fuck off. Like, I just, when people are like, oh, well, you're biased too, or you're this or that, it's like, duh. But you know what?
See,
part of this journey is being able to shed it and being able to stay positive.
I've also noticed with you, especially when somebody's like, well, that's your personal bias, or they tell you that's my personal bias, and you're like, they say that's your personal bias. No problem. Yeah. Or we just like, okay, your point.
Yeah, like, especially in the hot tub when a couple of the guys were like being dicks about it, I'm just like, whatever.
It's like
brush it off.
You know you're showing your bias more than I've shown mine, right?
Yeah, I literally said that too in front of the guy.
And they're like, what? It's like, you're literally showing all your cards. If we were playing poker, I know your hand and know whether or not to bet you up to all in, so that way you drop out, or just drop my hand, because clearly you're just going to do this to be dead.
Yeah. Like, I have a serious anger towards deities. And there's a lot of me that is still dealing with healing my own hurt, my own inner child. And Loki and Yahweh are helping me with it, obviously.
Not feel the pain from the past scars.
What?
Not feeling the current pain from the past scars being touched.
Yes. And working on doing that. Working on figuring out a way forward and not getting stuck in the past. Because the danger about healing the past is you can get stuck there.
Yep.
And so I have to work a way away from that. So if, like, you're someone who's going to be snide or whatever and cynical about it, go ahead. You have the right to your opinion or right to your perception. I'm just voicing my own humble version of mine. So there you go.
Yep. See, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I love this because you're like, I'm seeing this now. They're helping me through it. And I'm just like, okay, we're there.
Yeah.
I don't need to push. I don't need to prod. I don't need to ask you.
Yeah.
Because with the whole guy, like, well, da 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 da, and you have a real relationship with God and whatnot, and I'm just sitting back because I'm like, you're just repeating everything I say, dude. Okay, go ahead. Let's see if you got something new.
Yeah.
And then we got into a discussion about it, and I'm like, yeah, the only thing that offended me is, I'll baptize you. I'm like, you're trying to step on my toes, dude? You want to get punched? I mean, I'm still mortal. I'll go there if I have to, but I mean, really, dude?
Yeah.
Me and Em's been talking about this shit for like 3 or 4 years. Don't just like instantly come in, aha, I get the prize, I get the shiny trophy for doing it. It's like, why? The shiny trophy has nothing to do with it. It's not, I'm talking to you about it, so remember to pick me. It's like, no, okay. Have fun on your journey.
Yeah.
When you want to do this, contact me. If you want me to do it.
Yeah.
Conversation over, but the way he like tried to insert himself, I'm like, I'm slightly offended by that. I mean, I understand why.
Yeah, it's soul programming.
Well, it's not even programming. It's if I help you save your soul, then that saves my soul a little bit. And my thought is, fuck my soul. I know where my soul's going. Let me just help you get to where you need to be. And if your soul's safe, great. I don't give a shit.
Also,
I don't need the credit.
Also, why does it matter whether or not you baptize somebody? How does that save your own soul, though? Because if you're baptizing somebody, then you're helping them cleanse themselves, yes, but that doesn't mean it cleanses you of your own shortcomings.
It's... Now, like I said, I don't know if that's the way he meant it, but that's how it came off to me by the way he said it. Because this is also the whole thing of, me. I see myself as a member, where I see some of them, they think they're members, but they don't act properly.
Yeah.
He's like close enough to being there. As far as I'm concerned, he's there. He got there. He's gone through a divorce, so he's still in the struggle. Me, I was, as far as I'm concerned, I was divorced 3 years ago. I was just
been
living
cruising
in the house and
you've been cruising,
playing my freaking field and spending time with my kids.
Other
than that, it's like, I've been divorced for years. Fuck off.
I'll tell you guys a story real quick. When I went to go to their house, to the garage, to do a workout with him, essentially we were just using equipment that he had on hand to do a little workout. And when she came out of the garage door, like the inner door, to get outside the garage and go into the driveway to talk to him real quick, the interaction alone threw me off. I didn't say anything at that moment. I just kind of observed and just kind of like, did my workout stuff. But I was watching her, and I could tell that she was watching me, but she didn't know what to say, and she didn't know what I was gonna say or what was in my head. But like, she could tell that I was watching, and that I knew something was off and something was different. And then I finally commented on it when she went inside, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And he's like, "Hell was what?" And I'm like, "That whole thing." You two, it's more transactional, it's different, it's off. And he's like, that's the way it always is now. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, we've been going into it forever now, and blah, blah, blah. And then she came back outside and said something else to him. And I looked at her and was like, this is weird. And she just kind of was like, what's weird? And I'm like, just your whole dynamic with him now. Like, you guys were all so close and everything, and now suddenly it's gone. And she just kind of, like, sniffed at me, and then, like, just kind of shrugged and went...
snooty upper nose thing.
Did the whole snooty upper nose thing, and then she was like... make sure you do this, this, and this to Karnage. And then just kind of brushed me off and went back inside, and I'm like...
You pissed her off, so she threw more shit on my list.
I was like...
Or attempted to.
The hell, lady? What? And... Then I had to force myself to drop it because I'm like, this, obviously it's not going to change any at all, and
it's not healthy.
And it's not going to do anything, and it's also not healthy, so I just kind of dropped it and was like, whatever, well, if it comes up and it actually becomes important and something can be fixed, fine. If not, it's whatever. And I just kind of left it where it was, and then now we're here.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I mean... You said something to me at one point, because I had made a comment to you, And I said, okay, I'm going there. And if I can't go there, neither can you. We both bounced off each other, and then we went, okay, we've been little bitches. Time to fix our fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Plus, we're both starting to repeat ourselves a little bit.
Yeah. Well, when you get into repeat, clearly you haven't gotten everything out.
Yeah.
So, it's like, well, okay, that point was said to me, which means this, and this. Okay, time to let go.
Yeah.
Get out of my own way, sort of thing.
The only time I ever bring up stuff like that anymore is when either A, I think I can do something about it, B, it's actually bothering me because there's a loss there, or C, because I feel like at that moment something could have been done. But otherwise, I just go, your guys' stuff.
Yep.
You guys can handle it on your own, you're adults. Because, like, when I was a teenager, I used to try and overhandle everything.
That's like with the guy at the gym who was talking to you about God and whatnot. And like, I'll baptize you sort of thing. He's like, well, you should pray for your kids. Da, da, da. I'm like, I'm not dragging them through a battle. It's not worth the damage it'll do to them when it's literally they can come at me, yell at me, cuss at me when they're 18, 19, 20.
Young 20s me would have agreed with him,
and I'll
too.
sit there and literally take it.
Yeah, young 20s me would have agreed with him, and young 20s me would have mishandled a bunch of today's stuff.
Yeah.
Especially over the last year. Like, you would have mishandled a lot of shit. So it's like, that's where I told me, I was like, I have hit a growth spurt.
There's nothing wrong with that. I always think it's funny. Your brain stops developing. You basically hit your end point at 25. I go, bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm always evolving, always gaining more, because you can always learn a new, better skill.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop you except for you. And you see me, I live like that.
Yeah, you gotta get out of your own way. This
and
is
you
a phrase
can't let anybody else get in your way,
This is a phrase
too.
I've either heard from you, heard from somebody else, or a phrase that I have said, and it just gets recycled all the time. I wonder.
But it's a good
I wonder
phrase
when
then.
It'll become like the mantra of our country, and then suddenly out of nowhere we actually start succeeding as a country.
When they start writing in Timothy Thomas Potter on all the ballots to just get my ass in.
Yeah. And then it's like, get out of your own way.
No. Okay. Anybody who is tired of the current political parties, who has enough money, is a millionaire, come talk to me. Send me a message on TikTok, or send him a message at TPAW's Playground on YouTube, or come Karnage6778 on Twitter, or TPAW Wolfric on Twitter. Send us a message to support the new Saiyan party. Get out of your own way. That's the new political party. We're going to call ourselves the Saiyan. Get out of your own way. We're just saying.
That'd be a hell of a tagline, too. Get out of your own way. We're just saying.
I mean, because we always joke, and everybody always jokes, well, if you're going to make the Saiyan party, then, just saying.
Yeah.
Because... like you just said, it keeps bouncing back and forth constantly. That it's
like a theme that I'm noticing with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If we can find somebody that can support it or help us turn our Saiyan political party into an actual political party, and that's the same. Get out of your own way, just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do it. And it'll. Mm-hmm.
I just wrote it down so that way I can have it for later. Because that's an awesome thing. And I'm going to put political Saiyan and then political party.
I say spell it differently. Flip-flop the I and the A, so that way it's not like the cartoon.
So, like that.
No. I-Y-A-N.
I-Y-A-N?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we
so
are.
So that way it's not like the TV series and whatnot. So that way it's ours.
Yeah. That
we
way
spelled
there's
it
no
differently.
copyright.
You spelled it incorrectly. No, because the other one's copyrighted. This one's now copyrighted as a political party.
Yep, it's different.
Because I've always spelled it wrong. And I'm like, you know what? When we started talking about turning into a political party, my first thought was, we're going to spell it wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
Because then they can't come at us.
Yep. Yeah. Did anybody? Well, once we get it actually going and get like funding and get things going with it.
Like I said, if any millionaires see this, hit us up.
Yep.
We'll discuss it because we'll start the
You'll
new political
eventually
party and
start to
fix the
see
system.
a slow, smooth movement that will quickly pick up speed and gravitate, and like an Ouroboros jump up, and instead of being this tail, just keep going, and it'll be the Saiyan party.
Oh,
Get out of
for
your own
anybody
way.
who has any inclination that I am not who I say I am, whoop whoop. If you know, you know. Those who know will know and be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
If they don't know, they don't know.
Yes.
Or if they want to criticize or try to burn me at the stake, bring
One
it.
of these
I
days-
need a nice toasty
One
fucking
of
shower.
these days, we're going to have to get you on the podcast wearing the makeup.
I don't wear makeup. That's the free part.
Okay.
I'm a big fan, but anytime I put on makeup, I'm like, this is interesting, but I don't like the makeup. Plus, if I was going to do the makeup,
You'd break out probably.
oh no,
No?
invert it.
Okay.
Instead of the white face with the black paint
Yeah.
as the diagram, black face, white paint as the diagram.
That would actually be sick as fuck.
I mean, when we get to Halloween this year,
Yeah?
I am the reverse ICP. I am the reverse juggler.
You just derailed it.
I don't even care. We were talking about it, so
Yeah.
my brain just said, and the other entity said, just say it. Piss them all off. I mean, because you know the crazies will come, he's doing blackface. No, this is just makeup. I'm playing a part.
It's
You
called
know, like-
inverted.
Like ICP does.
Yeah.
It's literally just their stage persona. That's why
I know
it's the
so
horror
many
rap.
people who are probably actually in that fandom who would surge for that.
I mean, I've been thinking about it and planning that out for years.
Yeah.
Upon years. The only issue is, well, you're 40, you're past the point of prime. I'm like, dude, to be the youngest president, you'd have to vote me in at 30. That had been 10 years ago. Before
Yeah.
I had a political, somebody to run with me or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bring it.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, no, I feel like you will have a unique edge going for you.
I mean, one,
We
I'm
will have
handicapped, and
We
two,
will have a very unique edge going for us.
handicap,
when it
creating
comes
a
to
new
this.
political party, and also admitting I'm a juggalo in front of everybody, God in the world. Either they're gonna try to kill me, or they're literally like, he's nuts. Leave him alone. He's an idiot. He'll never get there. And then when I get there, they're all gonna shit their pants.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, wait, what just happened?
We said he couldn't get there. 4 years later, he's there. What happened? The fuck?
Yeah.
Because for me, it's just like, yeah, told you I was gonna do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when I was watching a lot of, let's be real, when I was
Okay.
watching a lot of the Democratic debates, well, Republican debates, because the Democrats don't debate, because apparently the president can't debate or shit. But,
He's almost 100 years old, and he'll be dead before the next election.
but when I was watching Republican debates, I was not that impressed at all. I was watching it for what it was.
The one who's got me most impressed, and that's because I've seen some of the stuff he's put out other than the debates. I mean, because
The guy with the funny last name, as he put it?
Yeah.
Ramaswamy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The engine.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll bitch at me and possibly come at me through social media saying, no, my family comes from it's Asian. Shut up. You're an Asian. You're an Asian American.
That or actually just
Or
contact you
you're
and be
just
like, hey, what's
a,
up, bro?
a permanently tan American.
Yeah.
You want me to call you Italian? I mean, I don't really care. Actually, I'm an American. How many generations? This many generations. Cool. Let's hang out.
I've actually seen him where he's actually more civil than on the debates.
Well, I mean, when he's not in debate, when he's just like having interviews,
Yeah.
he seems like he'd be a guy I'd hang out with or shoot the shit with, like we would, like on this.
You know, he seemed like a guy that I would have worked with at Verizon.
Yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
a decent person. I wish everybody would quit going to these extremes. Can't we all just get along and like move forward and like improve? Where obviously it's all going to shit.
Yeah. That's why I'm
more
if he ends up
leaning
actually getting
towards
this,
him.
if it gets between him and Trump, I'm voting for him probably.
Well, if it's between him and Trump, I'll look at it. Which one's actually the GDP, one? Because that's
Yeah.
usually the one that legally is allowed to be president or whatever the
However,
BS.
if it's him and Biden, get out
Him.
Biden. Get
Yeah.
out Biden.
Well, for me, it's Trump. Hey, look, he's the vice president candidate. Or if
Yeah.
he needs a vice president candidate, I am here. Because then I'll live in D.C.
Yeah.
for 4 years, and then when I go for presidency, you can be my vice president candidate because we don't live in the same state anymore.
Yep.
I win. I still get the outcome I wanted.
Yep.
Fuck off.
Yeah. And then you start out like Republican ticket or something, and then all of a sudden, nowhere we get the funding we need, and then you're like going around
No.
saying,
Well, halfway, 1 to 2 years into being the vice president, I have the money to start the same party and just be like, now look, bitches.
"Yep,
What color? Yellow. If you know, you know.
looking like a damn bumblebee."
I've been called worse. I mean, my old car was called a lemon because it was yellow.
Literally, and this is
And I love lemons, so
I actually
bring it.
told you this the first 2 weeks that I even knew you, back when like we were in the process, me and Amber were in the process, like we were flirting and stuff, and we were getting ready to start likely maybe dating, and then it ended up happening. First like 2 weeks to 2 months into the relationship, you literally pulled up into the vehicle, and I looked at the car, and I was looking around at it, and you're like, "What are you looking for?" And I'm like, "I'm waiting for it to turn into Bumblebee."
And I laughed and
Because it
said,
was a
that's
yellow.
cute.
Because it was a yellow car.
Yeah. I'm like, that's funny. I've had a couple kids scream, Bumblebee!
Yeah.
And you laughed at that. 'Cause,
Yep.
I mean, it's hilarious.
He looked like a damn transformer.
Yeah, it did. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I asked him recently. I was like, "So are you gonna get the since new now technically like it's literally your car now, like no ex-wife or anything over it?
No bullshit.
Like, are you gonna get it painted yellow?" And he's like, "Eh."
We'll see what happens in the next year.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the paint job.
Oh, it'll probably be more than a paint job. But
Yeah. Rims done, all that stuff.
No. I'll get it a paint job, and I'm going to put a wing on the back. Like I
Yeah.
had on the Aveo.
Okay.
Because it gives it better traction.
That's true.
On the back end, and since it's a front wheel drive vehicle, better traction on the back end, I won't do the...
Gonna have a K put on the back windshield.
No. I'll just put a tiny, like, literally a tiny wing on the back, just like it looked like on the Veil, literally painted and everything. And everybody like, did you like go find your old car? No, that's the same car. I just had some work done.
Yep.
But it doesn't have a make or model on it. No, because I told them to keep that shit off of my car.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I know what, at all the garages, what the make and model is. If they have a question, oh, it's the same car. It's just, I upgraded the piece of shit.
Yeah.
I made it what I wanted it. I mean, it's not a piece of shit. I shouldn't have said that. Bad wording. Bad dumbass that put that in my head. Or bad part of brain that threw in the bad word. Shut up, demon. I will fucking eat you for dinner. Anywho, it's the thing of...
It's actually a really
I've
good car.
literally listened to people call it a piece of shit. I'm like, this car is like cost me less to get anything fixed, and it's lasted longer with less money into it than the Aveo. So clearly the Chevy Aveo is a piece of shit because Chevy bought it and ooh, we're Chevy, so we're gonna charge you out the ass to fix anything on the vehicle.
Yeah, that
Bunch
car
of fucking
drives
pricks.
smooth as hell.
The Sentra?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like I was so floored when I was driving around myself.
yeah. The couple times I was listening to driver,
Yeah. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful
It's
car.
a nice car.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, compact, small car.
Well, it's not a compact, it's middle, but yeah.
It feels like it's compact to me. That doesn't mean it's...
You've never been in a true compact car, have you?
No,
Where you have to
probably
pull
not.
the seat forward to climb into the back.
Oh, I've been in one like that. That's the one that
Those are
Dylan
true
Cheyenne had.
compacts. I hate those because Russell had one.
Yeah, Dylan and Cheyenne had it where you had to pull the
Yeah,
seat up front.
hit the button so that way it flipped forward.
And then you were able to
zoomed
get
all the
into
way
the
up.
back of the car.
And then all they did was push the thing back, and then it went back to where it was previously locked.
And you had to like slide in through the back in order to get to the back seat because there was no actual back door.
Yeah, that's compact.
Yeah, I remember
The
that.
car I got to medium. It's a medium-sized car.
Yeah.
It's actually got the back seat doors.
Yeah, Dylan and Cheyenne had that one where they didn't have the back seat doors. That was annoying as hell.
Those cars I hate. Russell had one. The clutch went out, and it was a stick shift. So
Yeah.
that kind of went well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And it went out. The first time it went out was when he was dropping me off at Long John Silver's for a shift.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of jank.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Aveo, I put more money into the Aveo than I have actually put into the Sentra. So if I'd have thought about it back then, I did think about it, and I made a comment. And literally, as soon as the Aveo got T-boned and completely effed,
Yeah.
that's when she started pulling away and like, we don't have our yellow car that we've had our entire relationship. What the fuck does a vehicle have to do with the relationship?
Well, then that means that she let that help tank the relationship.
She let multiple things, but that was the first clink in the break of her armor.
It's weird because Amber and I have never done that with any vehicle.
Nope.
We've just been like, it's a vehicle.
Literally, the yellow vehicle went through. I mean, I met her in it. Married. First kid, second kid. Then car gets wrecked.
Yeah.
That's when everything starts to. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first ding in her armor. Where I'm just like, woo, shiny. Dink dink, fix armor, shiny.
Even if like we ended up just deciding to get rid of the two vehicles we have now and then got another one, her and I would just be like, all right, fresh new start.
Right?
Literally, that's how we'd be. We would just be like, all right, this is gonna be the new one, because you could always get a new vehicle. And how many times that her and I run into car issues?
Yeah.
Like, we've had
it's
like
just like
we've had the Hyundai Elantra, the Sonata. We've had a previous Honda. We had another red car that was before
I don't
that.
like Hondas. If
We
you're gonna
had-
get a car, you get a Hyundai because they're the better of the H cars.
Like, we've had multiple different vehicles now. I've got a Pontiac. We have the Honda Odyssey right now. We've run through like at least 6 or 7 cars just in the last
I
10
thought it
years
was
alone.
5 or 6, but yeah.
It's close to that. Yeah. The one I missed, the van that I missed that we did have, the red one I think it was, had a 5 CD player in it.
Yeah.
I missed that shit, and I think I lost some CDs thanks to it. But because we had a couple CDs in there, then when they decided they're like, yeah, we're totaling this vehicle, you're losing it. I was like, God damn it! And then I forgot there were CDs in the car.
Well, that's like with the Veil. I'm like, all right, well, I'm coming with my rental car to pull all this out of my car that I haven't gotten out yet.
Yeah. Well, I wish they
Okay,
did that.
whatever.
And then they
I literally just went, parked, started to walk back. What are you doing? I'm getting some stuff off my car that y'all still have in the back because y'all haven't completely junked it yet. Bye.
Yeah.
I just walked back there. Didn't have anything. Literally had to use my fingernails or a key to unscrew the license plate numbers. That's why that car still has the same license plate I had on the Veil. Because the license plate, as far as I was concerned, was part of the relationship, not the car.
Yeah.
Because the relationship, that number was the tag on it.
Yeah. It's weird that she let a car define.
It was the first ding in her armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. Because it's just a car. That's
Right?
literally what
It's just a physical object. If it blows up or doesn't work, then okay, I junk it and move on.
Yeah, literally, when I was in Clearlink, back in at that call center.
Yeah.
And I literally was sitting there in the break room area. And that was when they had vending machines where I could drink Mountain Dew for free. But,
Right, way
but
back in the day.
Yeah, but I was sitting there and I was talking to Dylan, and Dylan and I were talking for a little bit before we had to go back to work. And Amber calls me out of the blue, and she's like, "Hey, I ran into a pole." And I'm like, are you okay? And she goes, and she's freaking out. She's like, I didn't do a pull, I didn't do a pull. And I'm like,
are you bleeding? Are you dead? Are the kids dead?
And she was pregnant with Cass, and I was like, is the child okay? And she's like, well, we're gonna go to the hospital. And we're gonna figure that out. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, but I'm so worried about the car. And I'm like, I'm not worried about the car. And she's like, wait, really? And I'm like, no, not really. And then she's like, why? And I'm like, because we can always replace the car. I can't replace you. I can't replace you or the child. And so, and I'm like, yeah, we could always have another child, but then it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same child. And so and also it'd be sad. And so
right.
So she went ahead and she went to the hospital, got checked out. She said, okay, he's fine, he's good. And I had to wait like 2 hours for that. And then you know, we're getting to the middle to the end of the shift, and she calls me up again, and she's like, so what are we gonna do about the van? And I'm like, I mean, it's either it's gone or it's not gone. And she's like, well, I think it might be gone. I'm like, then we'll get another one. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, I ran into a damn pole. I'm like, I mean, the fact that you had a boxing match with a pole with the car during the snow is kind of ironic and funny. And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, kind of is, because you ran over black ice and then you ran into a pole. I mean, this tells me that you need to be more careful with your black ice driving. But I'm glad that the kid's okay and glad you're fine. And she's like, so what are we going to do about the van? I'm like, we already covered that. We'll find another one, or we'll fix the one we have. She's like, I think it's totaled. I'm like, okay, then I guess we're going to get a new one. And she's all like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, why are you apologizing for being alive and for a child being alive? Vehicle, whatever.
Material object, fuck it.
It's like, we'll find another one, whatever. And so later on after I interact with her like that, she started treating every vehicle like that. She was just all like, we'll find another one. And
yeah, no, she got it from Dad, because he's like, oh, they've been through this many vehicles. It's like, okay, it's a vehicle.
Yeah.
But the money, it's just an object also.
Yeah.
I could live, honestly, very happily and safe in a place where it's like it's open camping all year round because it's Mother Nature. We're not going to charge you for camping. I'd literally go park in the parking lot and camp outside and just sit there and be like,
it'd be certainly more peaceful than screaming matches.
but yet the screaming matches is what keeps me at my village.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Because, I mean, we really haven't had all that many screaming. It's like, stop what you're doing. What? I didn't say anything negative. No, but the way you're saying it is counterintuitive and angsting on more of this bad attitude. So don't.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, man, I'll go down to my dungeon.
Alex actually,
Al.
he kind of got a little butthurt the other day because of the fact that he was telling me about all these things he's wanting to do with the trucking gig if he ever gets one. And I'm like, all right, have fun with your fake money. And pull you.
Right?
And then he just kind of was like, so fake. And I'm like, isn't that what you said actually? Like you said a different version of that? And he's all like, well, no, I said it's just money. And I'm like, yeah, you said it was fake money anyway because it's digital. And he's like, I mean, it's just money. And I'm like, yeah. Why are we repeating ourselves now?
Who cares?
And then Martha was like, why are you getting mad at the fact that he's literally just telling you a joke based on something you and Karnage have said? And then and Alan just kind of was like, I'm gonna go outside. And I'm like, okay, have fun with your fake money.
Okay. Here's also another way to look at it. Because I said this to somebody because they made a comment. It might have been you. I don't remember. It's, I gotta go make more money. You're not making money. You are receiving money. I have to go earn the right to receive more money.
Yes. Yeah, no, I actually, I said that to one of my coworkers recently because, like, we were in a meeting and stuff, and they're like, okay, let's go make more money. I'm like, we're not actually making money. And they're like, then wait, what are we doing? I'm like, we are doing work and then receiving money because of it. And then
earning the right to receive an amount of cash.
Mm-hmm. I said we are earning the right to receive cash or currency in exchange for time that we pour into this company. And freaking Zach, one of the TLs, was like, that is an interesting way of putting it. Okay, because you literally can't print money, because if you could print money, then you could just have $1,000 like that. And I'm like, yeah, we are not making money. Because we're not printing money.
We are receiving money for compensation for the time spent.
And if you actually go to an ATM, then you could literally stack paper if you wanted. But we're not even stacking paper. We're just watching it pop up in an account. And he's like, Mr. Literal. And I'm like, Mr. Funny Pants.
Right? Yes. But I mean, that's the dynamic. It's like everybody's like, I gotta make my money. But you're not making money. If you were making money, then that comes into a whole different discussion about the FBI chasing you, trying to find you. How is this fucker printing money out of thin air?
Yeah, exactly. And the government can apparently print money out of thin air, but nobody else can.
Which is kind of it's
especially since the government's not. The government is the one taking the money. They're not giving the money. They're taking the money and then redistributing it.
They print out more money to give to you, so that way they can steal it back through fucking taxes.
Yeah, and then they give it to, and then the companies themselves have the money. And it's like,
you have to be rich enough and make enough money, so that way you can have all the little things, or have a rich accountant to literally figure out all the codes they can use, so that way you don't have to pay the government any money, and you can partially keep your money because you're still paying taxes before you get it, so the government's stealing money, and then you pay taxes whenever you buy stuff, so you're paying taxes 2 to 3 times over before you actually have any cash in hand.
yep.
So you're getting fucked 3 to 4 times in the ass without lube by the government constantly.
Yes.
Fucking assholes didn't even give me a kiss on the back of the neck.
Didn't give me a proper reach around. Even though you're the one who likes to bend them over.
Shh, that's what got us canceled, because somebody got offended. I was
That's
talking
true.
about a situation that happened. Pussies.
I mean, eventually TikTok
Isn't
will
that
get
constant for me?
Yes.
Everybody's always trying to cancel me because I said something. You said the words, but you didn't say them the way I like them. You mean like everybody always gets pissed at Andrew Tate for saying stuff that are factual because he didn't say it the way they liked? Wham, wham, cry, cry, scream, scream. Poor me, poor me.
Mm-hmm.
Grown up. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise, people. Hello.
Yep.
But he does it to get the interaction. To become the most
views.
famous or most Googled man on Earth.
Yes.
Okay, you became the most Googled. When I'm done, I'm gonna be the most known man on Earth just by going, "What's up?" It's that guy.
Just what's funny is, and I say this because it is pretty ironic that a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, I had a bunch of people on Facebook trying to talk smack on this Andrew Tate guy, right? And they were all like, they all had something to say about it. For someone that is a quote unquote nobody and irrelevant and all these other things that people will want to throw at him, for all of that, everyone was talking about him all the time, always talking smack. And then when I looked him up on Google and I looked up on my Wikipedia, I found him both times. I didn't have much trouble at all looking up who Emery Andrew Tate was.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's not that hard to look him up.
There he is.
A world or whatever.
For somebody who's such a nobody, everyone seems to know about him.
Yeah, the martial artist or karate champion or whatever it is, MMA champion. This many times over, it's like. But he's even admitted doing that didn't make him any fucking money.
Right. So it's just like, I don't know. I just find it funny when people do that.
That's the thing. Your biggest haters will scream your name the most, get your name out there the most. So hate me, talk about me, get the name Karnage out there, let them love me through their hate. Bring it, you're my biggest fan, mother trucker. I'll blow off.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny is
the more they bitch, the more
is.
people looked him up.
Yeah, it
and
is
he
true.
became the biggest name on freaking.
Media is addicted to negativity and anger.
And it also goes back to something that was said on a movie. No publicity is bad publicity. All publicity is publicity, which means my name's out there.
That's true.
Cancel me. Try. Okay. Oh, you don't like what I said. Okay. They're full of crap. Bing, bing, the next day. Actually, it was probably like 2 or 3 hours later because I fell asleep. Bing! You were right. You didn't say anything that they said you said. Cool.
They literally sent me a message in the morning, and he said, haha, and then sent the message, and it was a picture showing...
a screenshot of it, yeah.
Screenshot of appeal... approved, and it was them backing off and saying, sorry, we were wrong, we weren't supposed to shut you down or anything, and I'm like,
so they just ran their mouth, my bad.
Yeah, basically someone was talking smack.
They just sat back and went, heh. Knew it.
Yeah. Kind of, I mean, it keeps getting proven right all the time.
I just sit back and go, heh. Because it's funny to me, it's like, you're this, you're that. Okay, your point? That means you're evil. No, what's your point? You don't mind me calling you evil? I don't mind what you call me. My name's in your mouth. What's your point?
It's even funnier is when, remember when Will Smith was like standing up for Jada Smith and like just knocked the crap out of Chris Rock.
He was trying to be a decent guy.
And then like later on, after Will Smith knocked the crap out of Chris Rock, the next like 6 months was just non-stop memes of social media just wrecking the hell out of Will Smith.
For being a bitch.
Yeah, for deciding to go up and smack somebody. And I'm like...
And then instantly after that, Chris Rock put his special on Netflix talking crap on him. And then, in that process of him doing the new special, Jada Smith also came out, oh yeah, we've been divorced for this long. I've been screwing our son's best friend. I've been doing all this shit. And you've known it and haven't said crap to me about it.
Yeah, so it's almost like, you know, Chris Rock was nothing more than...
She did that to make him lose his momentum up so that way she could try to rip him to the bottom. I mean, but she has proven she's a piece of shit and he's a decent guy.
Yeah, I mean...
Because he didn't throw her under the bus or literally throw out all their laundry into the ether for everybody to know about.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, it's personal. I shouldn't talk about it, but...
Point is that I feel like people need to be more careful in how they react to things, and they need
to
be less trigger happy over.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Over what they see or perceive, and need to be a bit more careful about one, romanticizing someone you think you agree with versus hating someone you think you disagree with.
Well, that's like the guy who was the old guy in Highlander. I think right after he died. I think it was last year or the year before. It was right around when COVID started.
Yeah.
So 2021, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Or it might even happen in 19. Well, he said if a woman just give her a slight tap on the cheek. He didn't say hit your wife. She's getting mouthy. Shut up. Stop that. Don't do that. Kind of like what I said. The wife came at me, swung at me. I said, stop it. Don't do that.
Right.
I mean, was that hard?
No.
That was like light as hell.
No.
That's literally what he did to her. Same exact thing. Stop it. Quit it. Don't do that.
I've done that to Amber before. Where
the lightest, most...
Where I, put my hand on her forehead and I go, stop with the negativity. Stop with the self-hate.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, stop beating yourself up. You don't deserve this.
Oh, yeah.
Stop being your own worst enemy.
Right.
Which promptly, of course, gets her to go even deeper into that, into self-hate and self-pity. And it's been the next 2 hours trying to break me out of it.
I don't know. I think the biggest thing, or the biggest, I guess, kick of reality to her face was, hey mom, she thinks you think of her this way. Never.
Yeah, no. When I said that to her,
that was a straight call
shit
to the face.
Very strong urging from
the entities
saying you need to go downstairs right now, and I'm like, I want to spend my break up here so I can just decompress for a minute so I can breathe. And they're like, no, you go downstairs right now. So I got up, went in the hallway, begrudgingly and was like, okay, let's go. So I go downstairs and I'm like, oh, there's the Mare. Wait, there's Rambo. Wait, there's Karnage. And then, like, in the back of my head, see what I'm saying? Hey, by the way,
I mean,
it's all, like, right there.
I'm right there, so, really, dude?
Yeah, it was like...
Because you knew instantly I'm going to jump on it.
It was
and
just
Mom's
right
like,
there. And as soon as I, like,
how could you think
said
that?
the thing to her and stuff, all I had to do, too, was just be like, by the way, she says this is what was happening, and this is kind of what happened last night.
And this is the thought in her head.
And this is kind of what was going on. And as soon as I said all that, freaking Mare looks at Aaron and goes, child! And instantly I was like, we're right there.
Okay, I did what they told me to come do.
Uh-huh. And as soon as that happened, like, freaking Gustelle was just immediate, just tears. Like, it was like a trigger went off.
But it was a good trigger.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was like the immediate cry trigger of, like, you could tell that she's been obsessing over that all day. And then as soon as that happened, and as soon as I did that, it's like, oh my god, my husband does care. It's like, no crap. Of course I did.
it's the self-defeatist mentality. It's like, stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I went hard on her, she jumped back at me, and then, no offense, pulled an excuse of, I forgot to take my Be Happy pills. It's like,
yeah, I remember that.
fuck your Be Happy pills. You should just be happy in general. You're still alive and kicking. You got 4 kids. You got a decent husband.
Yeah, no, I've told her multiple times in the last 2 weeks alone, I'm like, you have what a lot of women would dream to have. Like, a lot of them. No matter whether they want to admit it or not, like, they would dream to have what you have right now.
Yes,
And
I
I'm
know.
always...
It's my birthday in 10 minutes.
Yeah, in 10 minutes I will be like, first.
Sure.
Hey, guys, by the way, it's his birthday in 10 minutes. You should jump in the comments and wish him a birthday. Same with you, YouTube.
Yeah, blow up the channels by screaming happy birthday at Karnage 6778. Let's see how bombastic we can get this.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
The ending at the beginning of my birthday podcast.
Yes. Yeah, no, I feel like we're starting to get through, though. And I feel like we're starting to get some movement with her.
I feel like we're starting to get a movement in like 2 or 3 different places. Not just her.
Yeah.
With the kiddos, too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially the oldest one is, well, I can't do what I want. I hate you. This is a shitty day. Why? You're up. You're doing well. You're dressed. We're moving forward.
Yep.
And certain things, it's like, don't always get what you want. It's okay. It's part of life.
Yeah.
It's like Dad trying to put your tails down. I don't have what to eat. No, so leave him alone. Let me. Just sit down in the front room, kids, and eat.
Yep.
That's where he started getting out of shape and pissy. And it's like, dude. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Dad called me. I gotta run off. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you to whoever poked the bear.
Yeah.
And made the ship move. And okay, have fun.
Yep.
And then as soon as out of sight, get the fuck down here. We need to freaking tighten up these hatches.
Yeah. Yeah, actually all kind of came down and y'all just started hanging out and stuff.
And then the conversation started. I'm like, okay, I'm in a good spot. We're having a good conversation.
Yep.
I throw in my snippets every once in a while. Accidentally cut you off. Oops, sorry. Go.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
I have a bad habit of that. Sorry.
I noticed that too, like, as soon as we all got back and stuff, because he was sitting right there, you know, there's that source of
Bullshit.
Of repulsion for all of us, and we all started kind of gravitating into our little areas where we like to go to, where we're more comfortable, and then as soon as the source leaves, we're like, okay, back.
Well, I mean, I was like hollering, like, Burge, come on.
Yeah.
I want this space safe again.
Yeah.
Put up the walls. Come on, people.
Yeah, and it was just like so interesting how that ended up happening, and the fact that
and how fast it happened too. That was nice.
Yeah, it was really fast, and then like Mare was just all like, "Wow, I'm noticing that this is so different with him gone. And I think she's starting to realize that, like, it's different.
I'm starting to put my foot further down. It's like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Because mom will say a comment to stop that. Or before mom can say it, I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
Well, you're antagonizing, don't. It doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put my gun in. Okay, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue the facts. It is what it is, dude.
The only way it'll change in a positive way with him is if he makes the change.
Or dies.
That's it.
No, I'm not saying it as a negative. Don't take it negatively. Anybody. It is the fact.
Yeah.
Pulls his head out of the demon's ass, or he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't want the second one. If
Yeah.
it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I want, of course, as you know, for the first one to happen.
I would love that.
I deeply.
I mean, I've been pushing for that for years.
The first one to happen.
I mean,
Because
yeah.
I am not someone that craves negativity, drama, any of the stuff that social media thrives on. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I've
And
always been,
certain people thrive.
yeah, I'm not someone that thrives on any of that. In fact, it repulses me. Like, a lot of times whenever I hear there's drama with somebody, I will curiously look, and then I quickly do this. Whoop, oh, over here. Let's find something else to be interested in, because I don't want to be part of it.
Why is everybody crying? Y'all are being stupid. Move on.
Yeah, and then I just kind of take a couple of my vape, and I'm like, all right, moving on, because I don't need to be part of that. And
right.
And I don't know, when, like, for instance, when people first started going apeshit over Undertake, for instance, and I didn't even know who he was, and he was a big fan of him apparently, and I didn't know that person anyway.
Because I felt his energy was positive in the way that could help you, and I knew because of his mentality, just like me. So
yeah,
I just instant gravitated towards it.
And the curious thing for me was we went to the hospital to go visit the wife because she was about ready to have a child, Luciana, and I bring up even briefly for like a second and be like, by the way, who the hell is this Andrew Tate guy that he keeps talking about? Because apparently he likes him a lot. And the second I said that, the floodgates open, and my wife is just going on a massive soapbox. And then he's trying his hardest not to rip her head off. And suddenly I'm like, it was a bomb I should not have touched, because now I have two siblings that are going, Rah! And so
she's like, well, he says it. I'm like, he says it like that to get your reaction like that. What he's actually saying is this. But he's saying it in the way to get your reaction. You realize that, right? That's not the point. He shouldn't have said it. Even though it's facts, it's 100% true, and everybody accepts it when it's said this way.
And then I'm like, it's just another point of view, it's just another point of view, it's just another point of view. And then like... And
you're trying to dial it down, and then when me and her stop with the bounce back and forth, with almost turned into a bicker, the nurse comes in and looks at me, why aren't you wearing a mask? Because that's pointless. Yeah. And I haven't caught it, and if I've caught it, I have the
antibodies.
I have the antibodies in me, so it's not going to hurt or kill me.
Yep.
I go to the gym every day, and I just sat down. And she looked like she was about to say something, and I gave her a look like, go for it. And she went, never mind. Okay, back to you guys who are having the children.
Yeah, it was funny is like right after all that stuff was happening, and like Calypso still wanted to bicker about Take Guy. I looked at her and went, I just kind of looked at her with like narrowed eyes, and she's like, what, babe? And I'm like, isn't he Romanian? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, why the hell does it matter whether or not you like a Romanian or not? He's not even American. And she's just like, well, he still has. I'm like, nothing to do with us. Why are you complaining?
Yeah, and then we talked about it at the gym like 2 or 3 days later when you guys had gotten home, and I'm like, oh, no. He's an American citizen. He's also a British citizen.
That was before I knew he was like a dual citizen, triple citizen, jack of all trades citizen.
Dual citizenship, but he knows his genealogy well enough to be able to, because it's only like, he said, like 2 more pages worth of paperwork.
Yeah. And
signatures. So do it yourself, or if you have the money, pay a lawyer to do it for you.
Yeah.
I know where my genealogies come from. I have both of their Ancestry.com paperwork.
Yeah.
If I need to, I can get on, have mom give me the login, get on, print it off, and
True.
Fill out paperwork, and I can have a passport of 6 to 10 different countries.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, who's allowed in this country? Well, we allow this. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Be like Jason Bourne. We don't accept that one. Nope. Nope. Oh yeah, we accept that. Why do you have so many? Because I have lineage in all of these countries.
Yep.
Stamp, hand it to me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Put it in the pocket on the other side. That's the one I need for this country that I'm in.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like.
That's what I like about his whole mentality thing.
Yeah.
It's that part of it.
Yeah, I found it cool.
Now hit the X and hit the like. So at least we have a like.
Yep.
I'll have to do that later, but
Yes.
because we're broadcasting on mine. But yeah.
Yes.
But keep going.
I found it interesting how he works his stuff too. Like the guy is not stupid.
No.
Like at all. Like
No.
he's brilliant.
He has a brain and he actually uses it.
And
That's
I've
what I
seen
like
the
about
wife
the guy.
flinch where I'm like, he's brilliant. And she's just like, and I'm like, would you prefer I just call every opponent stupid and underestimate the crap out of them? And she's like, well, no. And I'm like, so stop flinching and stop bristling when I call somebody smart. And she's
Who has
just,
proven they are.
yeah, and she's just all like, well, and I'm like, nothing. What is it with our country and assuming everybody we know is stupid? Like,
Well, it's like the whole. It's the American thing. It's
happy
like
birthday.
y'all don't even. And
First.
aw. Yay! I'm 41. I mean, not like I care. It's just another year. It's like, one more year to closer to 100. Nice. Now I ain't gotta live 60 years. Now it's only 59.
Yep.
One more less years to live until I gotta say, I wonder how long it's gonna take me to die now.
Yep. So, people in the comments, wish Karnage happy birthday. People in the comments, wish Karnage happy birthday. My brain totally went and flubbed all that. That's great.
I tried to read the screen and then the screen said, "Daw,"
Yeah.
and my brain went, I don't know.
My brain went,
Right?
So yeah, no guys, this guy has been through quite a bit in the last year alone, just like a lot of us.
I mean, I've
And-
been through a lot in the last 10 years because
Yeah.
I've been out here for, let's see, in 06, so 7 years?
Yeah.
No, 17 years because we're in 23. Yeah, 17 years.
And he hasn't seen his
in
kids.
Utah
like-
in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Since like Christmas, before Christmas.
Yeah.
He didn't get to see them on Christmas. Let's put it that way.
So I need all the birthday wishes.
Yeah, exactly. Because he misses them.
And all the money in the world. Thank you.
Yep.
Please donate. Even if it's a penny each. If we get a million people to see this and I get a penny each, that'll be badass.
Yeah. Be quite a bit of pennies. And then we can collect them all together and see how much it is.
You made $1,000. Everybody donated a penny. Sweet. How do I cash this out? Oh wait, we're gonna take a third of it. But I mean, that's with every platform, so it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like, let's make him feel special. Come on now. He is freshly divorced and is having to give
freshly
us some
41 and trying to find me a 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old wife.
shit. Someone that's younger than him.
That's under 30, so that way maybe I can get another 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah.
Or maybe this one won't try to slip my third afterwards.
Yeah, I know. He actually revealed the fact that he did not sleep very well at that house because he was always expecting to be dead the next day. Let's put it that way.
Well, yes. But I also sleep when I'm in possibility of danger. I don't sleep like I should.
Huh.
I sleep light.
Yeah.
When I don't have any danger or anything to worry about, I sleep like a fucking rock.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck the world.
Yeah, no,
I
he was
crashed the hell out.
he was actually telling me that he was enjoying sleeping in the car for the couple of days or the week that he did because it meant that he wasn't in danger constantly.
And it was so relaxing, no extra noise. It literally turn off everything, just pass out.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, so like I said before, wish him happy birthday. Drop him a message. You can always visit his actual profile and message him directly. And then of course you can message me if you want. I'm on Twitter. And I'm also on here. .t.p.a.wolfric. Don't know why the wife put it that way, but she did.
Yeah, she's right and loves you.
Yeah, and so I'm in a few different places, but yeah, just
90% of the places I'm Karnage 6778. So come find me, and just don't try to murder me, and we'll be good.
Yeah. And if you're and if you're one of those ladies out there who finds this beard sexy, let him know too.
I've gotten a lot of compliments over the beard.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's very awesome or very attractive. I mean, hell, I get goggled at the gym just for the beard anyways.
I mean, I stopped shaving mine heavily too, because
I mean,
you were heavily prodding me to like not shave my beard as much, and I'm like, but why? I've been keeping it all short and manicured, and you're like, oh, just let it grow out. And so I'm like, all right, well, I started like just clipping off parts of it that are like dead or whatever, and then just leaving the rest.
and it all grew in, it all looks badass.
Yeah, you're growing more.
That's like Al, like, my beard's patchy. Good. Don't touch it for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, just brush it. Every once in a while, brush it.
Yep.
Just let it grow for a year. And then wherever it's patchy, that's where you shave or trim up the edges and let it keep growing in. If it comes back patchy, you keep shaving it until it's no longer patchy.
Yeah, and the wife loves my beard too, so that's a giant bonus point.
Yeah, you're like,
I love
but I
when she
like
fawns
being
over
clean
it.
shaven. Just don't shave it. But, shut up.
Yep.
I think that was
And
the
she
first time
like-
I told you, just shut up and do it your ass.
And then she like takes her fingers and like, runs it through my beard, and then she grabs it and just starts fawning, and I'm like, no regrets now.
It's the, I know my people.
Yeah.
I mean, because my biggest issue with hair is that one spot on the back of my head.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have a full head of hair.
Yeah.
Bring it, dude.
I have a giant golf ball in the back of my head.
So do I. I mean, we could pull up, well, you can pull it up on here, the Instagram, because I put it on my reels on my profile.
Yeah.
You can see the bald spot on the back of my head. Do I care? A little bit. Why? Because I keep going to the gym, lift heavy shit just to become gigantic and unproportionately large shouldered again.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're both doing, and I do notice a lot of the bulking changes.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, when I wrap my arms around Amber and I grab her on her shoulders, she just kind of sinks into it, and I'm just like going, yeah.
I always loved having big shoulders. The biggest issue I have has been my constant issue, like, since I was, like, 8.
Yeah.
Between the ages of 8 and 10. I can't run as fast. Okay. My legs are my downfall. Cool. I'll just do all upper body. I'll be the strongest man. I'll no longer use the wheelchair. I won't use canes anymore. I'll literally just basically do a constant dip, holding myself up and just walking everywhere on my hands.
Yeah.
My hands will become so brisk and so really, it'll literally be, if I ever get with another woman, it's like I feel every freaking goddamn millimeter of your freaking finger. Yeah, because it's bristle.
Yeah.
But it's good bristle, because it's smooth, but it's got enough to touch all the freaking little nerve endings.
Yes.
So bring it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I noticed that with my fingers and stuff. I know they're very adept at like typing, because that's what I've pretty much done with my fingers for the last ever. But I do know the wife loves the fingers.
All women love their fingers.
Yes.
Unless they're just weird.
Yeah. I can read out a passage if you want.
From the new book? Or?
Yeah, the new book.
Sure.
Just a short part of it.
Read us 2 paragraphs before we close this down. Read the 5 paragraphs in
5 paragraphs in.
of the prologue.
Okay. This is the prologue of Prince of Brimstone. Giant streams of shadows, flickers of light, danced in a heavy cadence, a rapid rhythm around her. She could barely breathe or think. He had her cornered, and his eyes gleamed with manic pleasure. The poor children around him subjected to his fear-mongering, his dark, perverse tactics. She hated every bit of it. She had to get back to her son. No doubt Chris would be there shortly, both her boys, all of her surrogate children, needing her. Sindrastra pushed hard, a deeper power that she didn't call that often, a rippling, dark power. She felt the deathly call, the cold, very neutral essence of her own inheritance kicking into being. Just being, just existing. She's beyond that. The very line between the living and the dead. Her power is rooted in the very visceral balance of dark and light, living and dead. The dark shadow world he brought her to during their initial scuffle felt very much like a spider's web. Even the lines in the air were gnarled pieces of wiring, and they looped each other in a giant pattern around them. She could see wafting smoke around them and felt eyes staring at her from the darkness. Pearly white, almost blinding in this dark world Braxton pulled her into, skeletal hands shot upwards, pulling her out of this energy-driven prison. The dark force beckoned to her, called to her. Her army of darkness had answered her. A sea of the dead, a horde of skeletal power pushed its way through, chattering jaws of skulls. Our queen of death, the mother. She heard all the chattering, speak in unison. Quite a few of them grabbed Braxton, who floated as if suspended in midair, his clawed hands pushing dark and purple energy towards her. She fended him off just barely. The power of love towards her family carried her further. She felt suffocated. He growled as the skeletal hands pulled at him, and he smacked away at them. No! I need to show him the truth. You all lied to him. You especially! That's my life you're playing with, Braxton yelled. Wrong. It's my son's life. You know what you did before. All those people you killed. The children! Sindrastra bit back. We are protecting him. Doesn't matter whether he chooses to be moored like you. It just matters if he's happy on who he chooses to be. That's not what your husband would say. Or what any of them would say, Braxton replied. His eyes glittered, and all she wanted to do in that moment was lay the smackdown on his candy ass. And I'll stop there.
Nice. Like the voices.
Thank you.
That's what you used in your...
in the audiobook, yep.
Yeah, no, that fixed Braxton the way it sounds in my head very well.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, very manic, very... Guttural, and just cartoonish with, like, this insanity.
Well, for me, it's the guttural, say it with your chest!
Yes.
Sort of thing.
Yep.
Because he means what he says, and I like that.
Yeah, no, it was very fun fighting his voice.
Oh, I bet.
Like, it was a mix between Kruger, Joker, and then, like, some other voices wrapped into that. Pulled a little bit from your voice.
Of course.
And then kind of put into a little package. So every time I talk like him, I start, like... Every time I do the voice acting when I'm recording, I'm not reading off the page anymore. I'm holding the page like this so I can follow what the words are saying, but I, like, get into it and I start voice acting, like the character, like moving the hands and stuff. It helps me get into the zone. So, appreciate that.
Well, no, it sounded like I thought it should sound. But, and the similarities between Braxton and the dad. Because the dad's angry, shut the fuck up. But Braxton's like, screw you, this is what I need to do, and I'm doing it on purpose. Don't get in my way. Just the visceral of the both of them arguing amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome stuff. Well, that's the initial take of the prologue. I'm going to be editing it, of course, just kind of fine-tuning it. There were some words I found in there that I'm like, I could play around with that. But the overall essence of the prologue is working really well, so I'll be going forward with finishing it off very soon. I'm drafting the rest of the book, but that's a taste. So, like I said before, tell this guy happy birthday. Come on now. And we'll come back next week. We'll talk about more stuff, probably a bit more Echo, maybe some other show that we come up with in the meantime. But this has been Crazy Peas. I'm TPAW.
Karnage 6778 everywhere.
And have a week.
Don't die, don't kill yourselves. Alright, no. Let him almost. Alright, disconnect the cord. Because it's like sitting right there. They don't want to knock it off. Oh, that was small, huge.
Yeah. Did it actually charge like it was supposed to?
Yeah, it did.
Good.
Just my cord.
Yeah.